Close your eyes, my friend, and let the world slip away. Picture yourself in a quiet room, the soft flicker of candlelight dancing on the walls, the gentle hum of night wrapping you in its embrace. Tonight, we're embarking on a journey to a land far across time and space, to the heart of West Africa, where the sands of the Sahara meet the vibrant pulse of the Mali Empire. This is boring history for sleep. Africa's untold past. Why being a slave in the Mali Empire was horrific. It's a story of golden cities and shadowed lives, of kings draped in wealth and souls bound by chains. As you settle in, let my voice guide you through a world both dazzling and heartbreaking, a place where history whispers lessons we still hear today. If you're ready to drift into this tale, do me a small favor, hit that subscribe button to join our journey through time. Now, let's step into the 13th century, where the Mali Empire rose like a beacon in the desert, its name synonymous with gold, power, and mystery. Imagine a land where caravans stretched across endless dunes, their camels laden with salt and gold, where markets buzzed with the chatter of traders from distant lands, and where the great city of Timbuktu shone as a center of learning and wealth. The Mali Empire, at its peak, was a marvelous sprawling realm that stretched across modern-day Mali, Senegal and Mauritania, its rivers and trade routes knitting together a tapestry of cultures. Under rulers like Mansa Musa, whose pilgrimage to Mecca left the world in awe, Mali was a land of legend, its streets paved with stories of opulence. But beneath the glittering surface, there was another story, one rarely told, a story of those who toiled in the shadows, whose lives were not their own. Slavery in the Mali Empire was no mere footnote. It was woven into the fabric of this golden age. From the salt mines of Tagaza to the bustling households of Niani, enslaved people bore the weight of an empire's ambitions. Their days were long, their nights heavy with uncertainty, yet their stories carry a quiet strength that echoes through time. Tonight, we'll walk in their footsteps, feel the heat of the sun on their skin, and hear the faint songs they sang to keep hope alive. This isn't just a history lesson, it's a journey into human resilience, into the lives of those who shaped an empire without ever sharing its glory. We'll explore the markets where gold changed hands, the fields where sweat mixed with dust, and the moments of defiance that flickered in the dark. Each chapter of this tale will unfold over 30 nights, each one a step deeper into the Mali Empire's heart, its triumphs, and its tragedies. So, find a comfortable spot, let your breathing slow, and let the rhythm of this story carry you. Picture the vast Sahara, its sands glowing under a crimson sunset, the distant call of a griot's voice weaving tales of kings and captives. Feel the weight of history settle gently around you, like a warm blanket. As we begin, the Mali Empire was born from ambition and vision, its roots tracing back to the 13th century when Sundiata Keita, the Lion King, united the Mandinka people. His victory at the Battle of Kirina laid the foundation for an empire that would rival any in the world. By the time Mansa Musa took the throne, Mali was a powerhouse, its wealth so vast that a single journey could shift the economies of distant lands. But this wealth came at a cost. The gold that dazzled the world was mined by hands that knew no freedom. The palaces that gleamed in the sun were built by those who could only dream of rest. Slavery in Mali wasn't like the chattel systems we often think of. It was complex, varied, and deeply embedded in society. Some slaves were prisoners of war, others were born into servitude, and many were traded across the Sahara, their lives bartered like salt or cloth. They worked in mines, fields, and homes, their labor fueling an empire that thrived on their sacrifice. Yet, within this hardship, there were moments of humanity's stories of love, resistance, and quiet courage. We'll meet people like Amin, a young woman torn from her village, whose spirit refused to break, or Kofi, a miner who whispered tales of his homeland to keep his heart alive. Through their eyes, we'll see the Mali Empire not as a distant legend, but as a living, breathing world of joy and pain. The air was thick with the scent of dust and spices, the sound of drums mingling with the cries of merchants. The Niger River flowed like a lifeline, carrying boats laden with goods and dreams. But for the enslaved, every step was a reminder of their chains, every sunrise a call to endure. As we weave through this history, I'll paint a picture so vivid you can almost feel the heat, hear the voices, and taste the salt in the air. This is a story to sink into, to let your mind wander through time as your body relaxes into sleep. So, as we begin, let's set the stage. A vast empire, a golden age, and the untold stories of those who made it possible. The Mali Empire awaits us, its history a bridge between past and present, its lessons a gentle nudge to reflect on what it means to be human. Now, take a deep breath, let your shoulders soften, and let's step into the first chapter, where the whispers of a golden empire begin to unfold. Let's settle back into the warm embrace of our story, my friend, as the night wraps around you like a soft cloak. Picture the vast expanse of West Africa, where the horizon shimmers under a relentless sun, and the sands of the Sahara stretch endlessly before you. This is the Mali Empire, a realm of golden dreams and hidden sorrows, where the whispers of a golden empire first take shape. Close your eyes and imagine standing on the edge of a bustling market, the air thick with the scent of spices and the hum of voices bargaining over salt and cloth. The year is somewhere in the early 13th century, and the Mali Empire is rising, its foundations laid by a warrior king whose name still echoes through time. Sundiata Keita, let these words guide you gently, like a river carrying you toward sleep. As we step into the first chapter, Whispers of a Golden Empire, the story begins in a time of chaos, when the lands of the Mandinka people were fractured, their villages caught in the grip of rival kings and ceaseless raids. The sun beats down on a small settlement, its mud-brick homes clustered along the banks of the Niger River. You can almost hear the ripple of the water, the laughter of children darting between huts, unaware of the storm gathering beyond the horizon. Sundiata, a young man born with a limp, was no ordinary figure. The griots, those keepers of history, sang of his destiny even as he stumbled through childhood, mocked by those who saw only weakness. But destiny has a way of turning whispers into roars. Sundiata's mother, Sogalna, a woman with eyes that held the wisdom of the stars, knew her son was meant for greatness. She told him stories of the lion, fierce and unyielding, and in those tales he found his strength. By the time he was a man, Sundiata had gathered warriors, their spears glinting under the midday sun, ready to challenge the tyranny of the Soso king Sumanguru. The Battle of Kiran, fought around 1235, was no mere clash of swords. It was a turning point, a moment when the Mali Empire took its first breath. Picture the dust rising in clouds as Sundiata's warriors faced Sumanguru's army, their shields painted with symbols of their clans. The air was heavy with the scent of sweat and fear, the ground trembling under the charge of horses. Sundiata astride his steed, his limp forgotten in the fire of battle, led with a courage that burned brighter than the gold his empire would one day command. The griots, say an arrow, guided by fate, struck Sumanguru's weaknesses, secret only Sundiata knew. When the dust settled, Sumanguru was gone, and Sundiata stood victorious, his name now a beacon for a fractured people. This was the birth of Mali, a kingdom forged in blood and bound by ambition. But let's pause here. In the quiet after the battle, as the sun dips low and paints the sky in hues of amber and crimson, the Mandinka people gathered their voices, rising in songs of triumph, their fires crackling under a starlit sky. Sundiata, now their king, looked out over the land and saw not just villages, but a vision of something greater, a realm where trade routes would hum with life, where gold would flow like water, and where the stories of his people would be etched into eternity. He established his capital at Niani, a city nestled along the Niger, its markets soon bustling with traders from across the Sahara. You can almost smell the roasted yams sold by vendors, hear the clink of cowrie shells changing hands, feel the dust kicked up by caravans arriving from distant lands. Niani was more than a city, it was the heartbeat of an empire, a place where dreams of wealth began to take root. Yet even in this moment of triumph, the seeds of sorrow were sown. For an empire to rise, it needed hands to build it, backs to bear its burdens, and lives to fuel its growth. Slavery was no stranger to these lands, woven into the fabric of societies long before Sundiata's reign. But as Mali grew, so did its hunger for labor. Prisoners of war, captured in raids or battles, were bound and brought to Niani. Others were born into servitude, their fates sealed by the circumstances of their parents. Some were traded across the Sahara, their lives bartered for salt or gold, their names forgotten in the ledgers of merchants. Imagine a young man, Kofi, his wrists bound as he's led from his village, the cries of his family fading into the distance. The sun burns his skin, the ropes chafed his wrists, but in his heart, he clings to memories of home, a lullaby his mother sang, the taste of millet porridge shared by the fire. Kofi's story is one of many, a thread in the tapestry of Mali's rise. The empire's wealth was built on such lives. Gold mines in the south, near the forests of Wangara, glittered with promise. But it was the enslaved who dug into the earth, their picks striking stone under the watchful eyes of overseers. Salt mines in the north, at places like Tagaza, were no less brutal, the air thick with dust that stung the eyes and choked the lungs. Yet, amidst this toil, there were moments of humanity. Picture Kofi, at the end of a long day, sitting with others by a flickering fire, their voices low as they shared stories of their homelands. A woman beside him, Amina, hums a tune from her village, her voice soft but unbroken. These were the whispers of resilience, the quiet defiance of those who refused to let their spirits be crushed. Sundiata's Mali was a paradox, a land of dazzling wealth and grinding hardship. The king himself was said to be just, his laws fair, but justice often stopped at the edge of freedom. The griots sang of his victories, but they rarely spoke of the hands that built his palaces, the feet that walked his roads. As the empire grew, so did its reach, its caravans stretching across the Sahara to trade with distant lands. Gold, salt and slaves became the currency of power, each one a piece of Mali's story. The markets of Niani buzzed with life, the air alive with the scents of leather and spices, the sounds of laughter and haggling. But for every merchant counting his wealth, there was someone like Kofi or Amina, their labor unseen, their lives a shadow cast by the empire's golden light. As we linger here, my friend, Let the rhythm of this story settle into your bones. Picture the Niger River flowing gently, its waters catching the moonlight, carrying the dreams of a people both free and bound. The Mali Empire was a marvel, its rise a testament to human ambition, but it was also a reminder of the costs paid in sweat and tears. If you're enjoying this journey, do me a favor, subscribe if you like the video, and let's keep exploring together. For now, let your mind drift with the river's current, the soft hum of history lulling you toward sleep. The Golden Empire is just beginning to unfold, its stories waiting to be told. Tomorrow, we'll step deeper into this world, where the sands of Mali hold secrets of wealth and sacrifice. Rest now, and let the whispers of history carry you away. Settle in, my friend, and let the night cradle you as we wander deeper into the heart of the Mali Empire. The air is warm, carrying the faint scent of dust and distant rain, as we stand on the edge of a vast shimmering landscape. The sun hangs low, painting the horizon in shades of gold and ochre, and before us stretches a world alive with promise and peril. This is the sands of Mali, a world of wealth, where the empire's golden age takes shape, its markets pulse with life, and its shadows hide the toil of those who built it. Close your eyes, feel the soft rhythm of the story, and let it carry you like a gentle breeze across the Sahara, guiding you toward sleep. The Mali Empire, now firmly rooted under Sundiata's vision, is a land transformed. Picture Niamey, the capital, its mud brick walls glowing under the midday sun, its streets a tapestry of sound and color. The market is a living thing, its heart beating with the chatter of traders, the clatter of cowrie shells, and the low bellow of camels unloading their burdens. Merchants from across the Sahara, their robes dusted with sand, barter bolts of vibrant cloth for nuggets of gold, their voices rising and falling like a song. The air is thick with the aroma of roasted peanuts, dried fish, and the sharp temps of spices carried from lands as far as the Mediterranean. You can almost taste the dust on your lips, feel the warmth of the cobblestones under your feet as you weave through the crowd. This is a city of wealth, a beacon of trade that draws people from every corner of the known world. But this wealth is no accident. The Mali Empire sits at the crossroads of a vast network, its trade routes stretching like veins across the desert. To the north, the salt mines of Tagaza yield slabs of white gold, prized as highly as the metal itself. To the south, in the forests of Wangara, gold lies hidden in the earth, its glimmer a siren's call to traders and kings alike. Picture a caravan winding through the dunes, its camels swaying under the weight of salt and cloth, their drivers squinting against the sun's glare. The journey is grueling, the heat relentless, but the promise of profit keeps them moving. These routes are the empire's lifeblood, connecting Niamey to Timbuktu, Gao and beyond, linking Mali to the markets of Cairo and the ports of the Maghreb. Gold flows north, salt flows south, and with them the stories of 1,000 lives. Yet, beneath this vibrant pulse, there is another rhythm, one less celebrated. The wealth of Mali rests on the shoulders of the enslaved, their labor the unseen engine of this golden age. Imagine Amina, a young woman we met in the last chapter, now standing in the market's shadow. Her hands are calloused, her back bent, from carrying water for a merchant's household. She was taken from her village in a raid, her life uprooted like a tree in a storm. Now she moves through Niamey's bustle, her eyes catching glimpses of freedom she can only dream of. The market's colors blur around her, the bright indigo of a trader's robe, the glint of a goldsmith's hammer, but her world is one of endless tasks. She fetches water from the Niger, its coolness a fleeting relief against her skin, and carries it back to a house where she is neither guest nor kin. Her days begin before dawn and end long after dusk, each one a testament to endurance. The story is not hers alone. Across the empire, thousands like her toil in the mines, fields, and homes that fuel Mali's grandeur. In the gold mines of Wangara, men like Kofi work in dim, stifling tunnels, their picks striking earth that yields riches they'll never touch. The air is heavy with dust, the heat a weight that presses on their chests, but they work on, driven by the overseer's whip in the hope of surviving another day. Kofi, whose memories of his village keep him anchored, shares quiet moments with his fellow workers, their whispers a fragile thread of connection. They speak of home, of the cool shade of baobab trees, of the laughter of children they may never see again. These stories are their rebellion, a refusal to let their spirits be buried in the earth alongside the gold. The empire's wealth is dazzling, but it comes at a cost. Picture a merchant in Niamey, his fingers adorned with rings, his voice loud with confidence as he haggles over a sack of salt. He counts his wealth in gold and slaves, each one a measure of his status. But for every coin that passes through his hands, there is a life like Amina's or Kofi's, their labor the foundation of his prosperity. The griots, those poets of history, sing of Mali's kings and their conquests, but they rarely linger on the hands that built the palaces, the feet that walked the trade routes. Yet these lives are woven into every brick, every nugget of gold, every slab of salt that crosses the desert. The empire's glory is inseparable from their sacrifice. Let's pause here. In the heart of Niamey's market, as the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the stalls, The air cools slightly, carrying the scent of evening fires, the distant rhythm of drums calling the city to rest. Amina, her day's work done, sits quietly in a corner of the merchant's compound, her eyes tracing the stars above. She hums a song from her village, a melody that speaks of rivers and hope, and for a moment, she is free. Kofi, too, finds solace in the night, his body aching but his heart clinging to the stories he tells. These moments, small as they seem, are the threads of resilience that bind Mali's untold past. The empire's wealth is a marvel, but it is built on contrasts: gold and chains, freedom and bondage, songs and silence. As you listen, my friend, let the market's hum fade into the background, let the rhythm of the story lull you. Picture the caravans moving slowly across the dunes, their silhouettes dark against the fading light. Feel the warmth of the fire, the softness of the night, as history wraps around you like a dream. If you're enjoying this journey, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. For now, rest in the glow of Niani's twilight 10T lights, knowing your eyes are growing heavy. The Mali Empire is vast, its stories endless, and we have more to uncover. Let the sands of Mali carry you towards sleep, and tomorrow we'll wander further into this golden, heartbreaking world. Let's drift back into the warm embrace of our story, my friend, as the night folds around you like a soft blanket. Picture the Mali Empire under a twilight sky, where the last rays of sunlight kiss the dunes, turning them a deep, glowing amber. The air is heavy with the scent of earth and distant rain, and far off, the faint call of a muezzin echoes across the city of Timbuktu. This is Sunset over Timbuktu's dunes, a chapter where we step into a city that shines like a jewel in the desert, its streets alive with scholars and traders, yet shadowed by the lives of those who serve in silence. Settle in, let your breathing slow, and let my voice carry you gently towards sleep. As we explore the heart of Mali's golden age. Timbuktu, in the 13th century, is a name that hums with mystery. Imagine standing at its edge, where the Sahara meets the city's mud brick walls, their surfaces etched by wind and time. The streets are a labyrinth of life, filled with the clatter of hooves, the laughter of children, and the rhythmic chant of a griot reciting tales of kings. The city is a crossroads, a place where caravans converge, their camels groaning under loads of salt, gold, and manuscripts. You can almost feel the dust under your feet, taste the faint saltiness in the air, as you weave through a market where traders from Songhai, Berber, and Arab lands barter in a dozen tongues. Their robes swirl in vibrant hues: indigo, saffron, crimson, each one a testament to the wealth that flows through Timbuktu's gates. This is no ordinary city. It is a beacon of knowledge and trade, a place where the world meets. The heart of Timbuktu's fame lies in its mosques and schools, where scholars gather to study the stars, the Quran, and the secrets of the earth. Picture the Sankar Mosque, its minaret piercing the sky, its courtyard alive with the murmur of students reciting texts. Manuscripts, bound in leather and inked with care, pass from hand to hand, their pages filled with poetry, mathematics, and astronomy. The air smells of parchment and wax, and the soft scratch of quills blends with the hum of debate. Scholars from as far as Andalusia and Cairo come to Timbuktu, drawn by its reputation as a city of learning. They sit under shaded awnings, their voices rising and falling, discussing the movement of planets or the laws of trade. This is a place where ideas bloom like flowers in the desert, fragile yet fierce. But beneath this brilliance, there is another story, one carried in the weary steps of those who make Timbuktu's grandeur possible. Let's follow Amina, our friend, from the market in Niani, now sent to Timbuktu to serve in a wealthy scholar's household. Her days are long, beginning before dawn as she sweeps the courtyard, the broom's bristles whispering against the earth. The house is grand, its walls adorned with intricate patterns, its rooms filled with the scent of incense. Amina carries trays of dates and millet porridge to the scholars, her movements silent, her presence barely noticed. She listens to their debates, her mind catching fragments of knowledge, words like constellation and syllogism, but her hands are never still. She polishes clay lamps, hauls water from the Niger, and tends to the needs of a household that thrives on her labor. The sun burns her skin, the weight of her tasks presses on her shoulders, but in her heart, she holds tight to a song from her village, its melody a quiet act of defiance. Amina is not alone. Across Timbuktu, the enslaved move like shadows, their work the foundation of the city's splendor. In the markets they carry goods for merchants, their backs bent under sacks of salt or bundles of cloth. In the goldsmiths' workshops, they fan the fires, the heat searing their faces as they help craft ornaments that will adorn the wealthy. Picture a young boy, barely 12, named Samba, who works in a trader's compound. His job is to tend the camels, their coarse hair rough against his hands, their stubborn grunts a constant companion. Samba was born into slavery, his mother a servant in the same household. He knows no other life, yet he dreams of the stories his mother whispers. At night, tales of a village where the river runs clear and the air smells of freedom. These stories are his anchor, keeping him afloat in a world that sees him as property. The contrast in Timbuktu is stark. While scholars debate the mysteries of the universe, men like Samba and women like Amina toil to keep the city alive. The gold that passes through the markets, the manuscripts that fill the libraries, the mosques that stand as monuments to faith or rest on the labor of the enslaved. Picture a caravan arriving at dusk, its camels laden with salt from Tagaza. The traders are greeted with cheers, their goods unloaded by hands that will never share in the profits. The salt is weighed, its value measured in gold or slaves, each transaction a reminder of the human cost behind the city's wealth. The air is filled with the clink of coins, the rustle of cloth, but for those like Amina and Samba, there is only the weight of another day's work. Yet, even in this hardship, there are moments of light. Imagine Amina late at night, sitting in the courtyard as the stars blaze above. She shares a quiet moment with another servant, a woman named Fatou, who tells her of a griot who once sang of a great escape, a group of slaves who slipped into the desert under cover of night. The story is likely a myth, but it sparks something in Amina's heart, a flicker of hope, fragile as a candle flame. Samba, too, finds solace in small acts. He carves a tiny camel from a piece of wood, its shape rough but familiar, a secret keepsake hidden in his mat. These moments, fleeting as they are the threads that weave resilience into their lives as the sun sets over Timbuktu. The city grows quiet, its streets bathed in the soft glow of lanterns. The muezzin's call fades, replaced by the gentle hum of crickets and the distant lap of the Niger against its banks. The dunes beyond the city shimmer under the moonlight, their curves a silent witness to the lives unfolding below. Timbuktu is a paradox, a city of knowledge and chains, of wealth and sacrifice. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, do me a favor, subscribe if you like the video, and let's keep wandering through history together. For now, let the rhythm of the story settle into your bones, the image of Timbuktu's dunes fading into the night. Feel your eyelids grow heavy, your breath slow, as the Mali Empire's story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow we'll step deeper into this world, where the rise of a great king shapes a golden age. Rest now, and let the desert's whispers guide you to dreams. Welcome back, my friend, to the gentle embrace of our story, where the night wraps you in its quiet warmth. Picture yourself standing on a hill overlooking Niani, the capital of the Mali Empire, as the dawn breaks, casting a golden glow over the mud-brick palaces and thatched roofs below. The air carries the scent of dew and wood smoke, and the distant murmur of the Niger River blends with the soft clatter of early risers in the streets. This is the rise of Mansa Musa's reign, a chapter where we meet a king whose name would echo across continents, a ruler whose wealth dazzled the world, but whose empire rested on the unseen labor of countless souls. Settle in, let your breathing slow, and let my voice guide you through this golden age, carrying you gently towards sleep. The year is 1312, and the Mali Empire is a thriving realm, its trade routes humming with caravans, its markets alive with the chatter of merchants. But a new chapter begins with the rise of Mansa Musa, a man whose name would become synonymous with wealth beyond imagination. Picture him ascending the throne, a young ruler with sharp eyes and a quiet strength, his robes woven with threads of gold that catch the sunlight. The griots sing of his lineage, tracing it back to Sundiata, the Lion King, whose victories laid the foundation for this empire. Musa, though, is no mere warrior. He is a visionary, a man who sees Mali not just as a kingdom, but as a beacon of power and faith. His coronation is a moment of celebration, the air filled with the beat of gem drums, the swirl of dancers in vibrant kente cloth, their movements a prayer for prosperity. You can almost feel the rhythm in your chest, the warmth of the crowd, pressing close. As Niani comes alive with hope. Mansa Musa's reign marks a turning point. He expands the empire's borders, bringing cities like Gao and Timbuktu firmly under his rule. His armies march with discipline, their spears glinting under the sun, securing trade routes that stretch from the Sahara to the forests of the south. But Musa's true genius lies in his understanding of wealth. Gold, the lifeblood of Mali, flows through his hands, mined from the rich earth of Wangara. Salt, carried from the northern mines of Tagaza, is traded as if it were as precious as gold itself. Picture a market in Niani, its stalls piled high with slabs of salt, bolts of cloth, and glittering ornaments. The air is thick with the scent of spices and leather. The voices of traders rising in a dozen languages Arabic, Mandinka, Berber. Musa's policies ensure that every transaction strengthens the empire, his taxes filling the royal coffers until they overflow. But this wealth, dazzling as it is, casts a long shadow. Let's follow Kofi, the miner we met before, now laboring in the gold mines of Wangara. His days are endless, the air in the tunnels heavy with dust that clings to his skin and stings his eyes. The earth is unyielding, each swing of his pick a battle against stone, the heat pressing down like a physical weight. Kofi's hands are rough, his back scarred from the overseer's whip, yet he moves with a quiet determination. At night, when the stars burn bright above the camp, he sits with others, their voices low as they share stories of their lives before. Kofi speaks of his village, where the millet fields swayed under the breeze, where his sister's laughter filled the air. These memories are his shield, keeping despair at bay. But the work never stops day after day. The gold he unearths is carried to Niani to adorn Musa's court, while Kofi remains bound to the earth in the capital. Life continues in the merchant's household, her tasks as relentless as the sun. She rises before dawn, her feet padding softly across the courtyard as she lights the fire. The crackle of wood, a familiar sound. Her hands knead dough for flatbread, carry water from the river, and scrub the floors until they gleam. The merchant's wealth grows, his table laden with dates, roasted goat, and honeyed yams. But Amina eats only scraps, her hunger a constant companion. Yet, in stolen moments, she listens to the griots who pass through the market, their voices weaving tales of Musa's greatness. She hears of his plans for a grand pilgrimage, a journey to Mecca that will carry Mali's name across the world. The thought stirs something in her, longing for a world beyond the walls that confine her, a world she can only imagine. That Mansa Musa's ambition is boundless. He is a devout Muslim, and his faith shapes his reign. He builds mosques, their rising like sentinels over Niani and Timbuktu, their walls adorned with intricate patterns that catch the eye. He invites scholars to his court, their manuscripts piling high in libraries that rival those of Baghdad. Picture a quiet evening in Niani, the air cool as Musa sits with his advisors, their voices low as they discuss trade and law. The lamps cast a warm glow, the scent of wax mingling with the night's breeze. Musa's vision is clear, to make Mali a center of faith and learning, a place where the world comes to marvel. But this vision demands resources, gold, salt, and labor, and the weight of that demand falls heaviest on those like Kofi and Amina. The enslaved are everywhere, their presence as constant as the sun. In the fields they plant millet and soy, their backs bent under the heat. In the households, they cook, clean, and serve, their lives a rhythm of tasks that never end. In the mines they dig, their hands blistered, their bodies aching. Yet, amidst this toil, there are flickers of humanity. Picture Amina late at night, sitting with another servant, a man named Diallo, who tells her of a river in his homeland, where the fish leap under the moonlight. They laugh softly, their voices a secret shared in the dark. Kofi, too, finds solace in the miners' camp, where an elder teaches him to carve patterns into a wooden staff, each line a story of survival. These moments, small as they are the embers of hope that keep their spirits alive. As Musa's reign grows, so does his legend. The griots sing of his wisdom, his generosity, his faith. They tell of mosques built with gold, of markets that never sleep, of an empire that shines brighter than the sun. But the songs rarely mention the hands that mine the gold, the feet that walk the fields, the hearts that bear the weight of servitude. The Mali Empire is a marvel, its wealth a testament to Musa's vision, but it is built on a foundation of sacrifice. If you're enjoying this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like. The video eats a small way to keep these stories alive. For now, let the image of Niani's golden dawn fade, the hum of the market softening as the night deepens. Feel your eyelids grow heavy, your breath slow, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll wander deeper into this world, where the markets sing of gold and dust. Rest now, and let the empire's whispers guide you to dreams. Welcome back, my friend, to the gentle rhythm of our tale, where the night wraps you in its soothing embrace. Picture yourself standing in the heart of Niani, the Mali Empire's bustling capital. As the sun climbs high, bathing the city in a golden haze, the air is alive with the scent of roasted yams and the sharp tang of spices, the streets humming with the chatter of traders and the clink of cowrie shells. This is Gold Dust and Market Songs, a chapter where we dive into the vibrant pulse of Mali's markets, where wealth flows like a river, but where the labor of the enslaved remains the unseen current beneath it all. Settle in, let your breath slow, and let my voice guide you through this world of splendor and sacrifice, carrying you softly towards sleep. Imagine the market at Niani Center, a sprawling maze of stalls stretching along the banks of the Niger River. The sun beats down, its heat softened by the shade of woven awnings, their colors faded but bright against the dust. Merchants call out, their voices weaving a melody of trade offers of salt from Tagaza, gold from Wangara, and cloth dyed in hues of indigo and saffron. You can almost feel the rough texture of a bolt of fabric under your fingers. Hear the laughter of a vendor as he strikes a deal. Smell the faint smoke of a fire where a woman roasts peanuts in a clay pot. Camels grumble as they're unloaded, their packs heavy with goods from across the Sahara, while children dart between the stalls, their giggles mingling with the market's song. This is the heartbeat of the Mali Empire, a place where wealth is measured in gold dust, weighed carefully on scales that glint in the sunlight. The markets are more than a place of trade. They're a stage where Mali's power is displayed. Under Mansa Musa's reign, the empire's wealth has grown to dizzying heights. Picture a trader from the Maghreb, his turban dusted with sand, exchanging a sack of salt for a pouch of gold so fine it slips through his fingers like powder. Gold is Mali's pride, mined from the southern forests and carried to Niani in tightly woven baskets. It's said that Mansa Musa's court uses gold as if it was sand, sprinkling it on guests as a sign of favor. Its shimmer a symbol of his rule. The griots sing of this abundance, their voices rising over the market's din. telling tales of a king whose generosity knows no bounds. But the gold that dazzles the world doesn't appear by magic. It's pulled from the earth by hands like Kofi's, our friend from the mines, whose labor fuels this golden age. Let's follow Kofi now. His body weary from days spent in the Wong mines. The tunnels are dark, the air thick with dust that coats his throat and stings his eyes. Each swing of his pick is a rhythm of survival, the clink of metal against stone echoing in the stifling heat. The overseers watch closely, their voices sharp, their whips a constant threat. Kofi's hands are blistered, his back scarred, but he moves with a quiet focus, his mind drifting to memories of his village, a place where the air smelled of rain, and the field stretched green under the sky. At night, when the work finally stops, he sits with other miners by a small fire, its glow casting shadows on their faces. They share stories, their voices low, speaking of homes left behind, of families they hope to see again. Kofi tells of a festival where his sister danced, her anklets jingling under the moonlight, and for a moment, the weight of the mines lifts back. In Niani, Amina moves through the market, her arms heavy with a basket of goods for the merchant's household. The crowd presses around her, their voices a blur of languages she half understands. She's tasked with fetching spices, cumin, ginger, and dried peppers, their scents sharp as she haggles with a vendor. The market is a world of freedom she can only watch, its colors and sounds a cruel contrast to her life. Amina was torn from her village years ago, her days now a cycle of chores, sweeping the courtyard, hauling water, cooking meals she never tastes. But in the market, she catches fragments of life beyond her chains. A griot song floats through the air, telling of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage plans, a journey to Mecca that will carry Molly's name across the world. Amina listens, her heart stirring with a flicker of wonder, even as her hands tighten around the basket's handle. The market is a microcosm of the empire's contrasts. Merchants grow rich, their compounds filled with gold and servants, while those like Amina and Kofi bear the cost. Picture a goldsmith's stall where a craftsman hammers gold into delicate ornaments, his tools gleaming in the sunlight. Behind him, a young boy fans the fire, his face slick with sweat, his hands trembling from the heat. This boy, like Amina, is enslaved, his labor invisible but essential. The gold he helped shape will adorn a noble's neck, perhaps even Musa himself, but the boy will never know its weight. The market sings of wealth, but its songs are built on silence, the silence of those whose lives are traded as easily as salt or cloth. Yet, amidst this toil, there are moments of connection. Imagine Amina pausing by a stall to rest, her eyes meeting those of an older woman selling pottery. The woman offers her a sip of water, a small kindness that feels like a gift. They don't speak, but their shared glance carries recognition of shared struggles. In the mines, Kofi finds a similar bond. An elder miner, his hair gray with dust, teaches him to read the stars, pointing out constellations that tell stories of ancestors. These lessons, whispered under the night sky, are a rebellion against despair, a way to claim a piece of the world that binds them. The market's wealth may belong to the few, but these moments belong to the many. Their quiet strength a thread in Molly's story. As the day fades, the market quiets, its stalls closing under a sky streaked with purple and gold. The air cools, carrying the scent of the Niger's waters, the distant rhythm of drums signaling evening prayers. Picture Nyani settling into twilight, its fires glowing like stars against the darkening earth. The market's songs fade, replaced by the soft hum of crickets and the murmur of voices sharing stories. If you're enjoying this journey, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these tales alive. For now, let the image of Nyani's market blur, the clink of gold dust softening as the night deepens. Feel your body relaxed, your breath slow, as the story carries you toward sleep. The Molly Empire is a world of contrasts, its wealth built on sacrifice, its songs woven with silence. Tomorrow we'll step deeper into this world, where the chains of empire cast long shadows. Rest now, and let the market's whispers guide you to dreams. As the twilight fades over Nyani's bustling market, the glow of lanterns casts soft shadows, and the air grows cool, carrying the faint scent of the Niger River's waters. The hum of traders' voices lingers like a distant song, blending with the rhythmic beat of drums calling the city to rest. But beneath this vibrant pulse there's a quieter story, one etched in the sweat and silence of those who toil unseen. We've walked through the golden markets, felt the weight of gold dust in the air, and now we step into the shadows of that same empire, where the chains of servitude bind lives to its grandeur. This is the chains beneath the glory, where the Molly Empire's splendor rests on the labor of the enslaved, their stories woven into the very stones of its palaces. Let my voice wrap around you like a warm blanket, guiding you gently toward sleep as we continue this tale. The Molly Empire, under Mansa Musa's reign, is a marvel of wealth and power. Its name whispered in markets from Cairo to Cordoba. Picture Nyani's royal compound, its walls towering above the city, their mud brick surfaces catching the morning sun. Inside, courtiers move with purpose, their robes shimmering with gold thread. their voices low as they discuss trade and conquest. The air is thick with the scent of incense, its tendrils curling around carved wooden beams. Mansa Musa himself sits on a throne adorned with ivory, his presence commanding yet calm, his eyes sharp with the weight of ruling an empire. The griots sing of his wisdom, of mosques rising like beacons, of gold so plentiful it flows like water. But for every palace wall, every golden ornament, there are hands that built it, hands that belong to people like Amina and Kofi, whose lives are bound to the empire's ambitions. Let's follow Amina, our friend from the merchant's household, as she moves through the royal compound, sent to deliver baskets of grain for a feast. Her steps are careful, her arms aching under the weight, the rough weave of the baskets chafing her skin. The compound is a world apart from the markets, chaos, its courtyards swept clean, its air heavy with the scent of jasmine and roasted meat. Servants like Amina are everywhere, their presence as constant as the sun carrying water, polishing brass, tending fires that never die. She passes a group of nobles, their laughter ringing out, their hands adorned with rings that gleam like stars. Amina keeps her eyes low, but her mind is sharp, catching fragments of their talk plans for Musa's pilgrimage, a journey to Mecca that will carry Molly's glory across the world. She wonders what it would be like to walk free, to see the world beyond these walls. But the thought is fleeting, buried under the weight of her tasks. The empire's glory is built on such labor. In the gold mines of Huangara, Kofi continues his endless work, his pick striking earth in a rhythm that matches his heartbeat. The tunnels are stifling, the air thick with dust that settles in his lungs, but he moves with a quiet resolve. The overseers are relentless, their voices sharp, their whips a constant threat. Kofi's body aches, his scars a map of his years in the mines, but his spirit clings to the stories he shares with others at night, by the fire, under a sky blazing with stars. He listens to an elder named Mehdi, who speaks of a time before the empire, when their people lived by the rhythm of the seasons, not the demands of kings. Mehdi's voice is low, his words a thread of hope, and Kofi holds them close, a shield against the despair that threatens to swallow him. The chains of servitude are not just physical, they are woven into the empire's very structure. Slavery in Mali is complex, not a single story but a web of lives prisoners of war. Those born into bondage, others traded across the Sahara like salt or gold. Some, like Amina, serve in households, their days filled with domestic tasks, their nights haunted by dreams of home. Others, like Kofi, toil in mines or fields, their labor fueling the empire's wealth. Picture a young woman, Fatou, who works in a noble's garden, her hands stained with earth as she plants sorghum under the blazing sun. Her village was raided years ago, her family scattered, but she carries their memory in the songs she hums. Their melodies a quiet rebellion. Fatou's work feeds the empire, her crops filling the granaries that sustain Niani's feasts, but she eats only scraps, her hunger a constant shadow. The empire's splendor hides these truths. Picture a grand feast in the royal compound, tables laden with roasted goat, honeyed yams, and bowls of millet porridge. Musicians play their chorus strings, singing under deft fingers, while dancers swirl in a blur of color. Mansa Musa presides, his generosity on display as he scatters gold dust among his guests, their cheers rising like a wave. But behind the scenes, servants like Amina move silently, their hands refilling bowls, their feet aching from hours of standing. The gold that dazzles the guests was mined by Kofi, the food they eat grown by Fatou, yet their labor goes unnoticed, their lives a footnote. In the griot's songs, the feast is a celebration of Mali's power, but it is also a reminder of its cost. Yet, even in these shadows, there are flickers of light. Imagine Amina late at night sitting in the courtyard with another servant, a boy named Samba whom we met in Timbuktu. He's been sent to Niani, his small frame tasked with tending the royal stables. They share a quiet moment, their voices low as they talk of their villages, of rivers that run clear and skies that stretch forever. Samba shows Amina a wooden camel he carved, its shape rough but loved, a secret he keeps hidden from the overseers. Amina smiles, her heart lifting for the first time in days, and she teaches him a song from her homeland, its notes soft but defiant. In the mines, Kofi finds a similar solace, carving patterns into a rock by the fire, each line a story of survival, a way to claim a piece of himself. The Mali Empire shines, its palaces and mosques a testament to Mansa Musa's vision, but its glory is built on sacrifice. The chains that bind Amina, Kofi, and Fatou are as much a part of Mali's story as the gold that adorns its kings. As the night deepens over Niani, the fires burn low, their embers glowing like stars against the earth. The air is cool now, the scent of jasmine fading, replaced by the quiet hum of crickets. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of the empire's heartbeat slow your own. The image of Niani's palaces fading into the night. Feel your body relax, your breath soften, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow will follow the path of those torn from their homes, where the weight of capture shapes their lives. Rest now and let the empire's shadows guide you to dreams. As the embers of Niani's fires fade into the night, their soft glow lingers over the royal compound, where the scent of jasmine gives way to the cool breath of the Niger River. The Mali Empire sleeps, its palaces standing tall under a starlit sky, but for some, sleep brings no rest, only memories of lives left behind. The golden age of Mansa Musa shines brightly, its wealth dazzling the world, yet it casts a shadow over those whose labor fuels its glory. We've walked through Niani's vibrant markets and stood in the grandeur of its courts, but now we turn to a quieter, more painful story, one that begins far from the city's bustle. This is A Slave's Dawn, the weight of capture, where we follow the moment a life is torn apart and the journey into servitude begins. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a warm breeze, carrying you towards sleep as we weave deeper into this tale. Picture a small village nestled in the savannah, miles from Niani's golden walls, where the air smells of wet earth and blooming acacia. The year is still in the early years of Mansa Musa's reign, around 1315, and the Mali Empire's reach is growing, its hunger for labor insatiable. The village is quiet at dawn, the sky streaked with pink and gold, the sound of roosters mingling with the soft chatter of women preparing millet porridge. Children play near a baobab tree, their laughter light as the breeze, unaware of the danger creeping closer. Among them is a young man named Bakari, strong and quick, with dreams of becoming a griot, his voice already known for its warmth. His mother Nia tends a small fire, her hands deft as she stirs a pot, her eyes crinkling with pride as she watches her son. This is their world, small but whole, until the horizon darkens with the dust of approaching raiders. The raid comes swiftly, like a storm breaking over the savannah. Horsemen, their spears glinting, sweep through the village, their shouts shattering. The morning's peace. Huts are set ablaze, their thatched roofs crackling as flames devour them. Bakari runs, his heart pounding, but the raiders are relentless, their ropes snapping like whips. Nia's scream cuts through the chaos as she's pulled from her home, her hands clutching at the air. Bakari fights, his fists striking out, but a blow to his head sends him to the ground, the world spinning into darkness. When he wakes, his wrists are bound, the ropes biting into his skin, and his village is gone, reduced to smoldering ruins, its people scattered or captured. The air is thick with smoke, the ground stained with loss, and Bakari's life, once filled with song, is now a march into the unknown. This is the weight of capture, a moment that tears a life apart and sets it on a path of servitude. Bakari, like so many others, is now a prisoner of war, his freedom traded for the empire's needs. The raiders, hired by merchants or nobles loyal to Mansa Musa, drive their captives toward Niani, a journey of days across the savannah. Picture Bakari stumbling forward, the sun burning his shoulders, the ropes chafing his wrists raw. The line of captives stretches long, their steps heavy, their voices silenced by fear. Among them is Nia, her face lined with grief, her eyes searching for her son in the crowd. The air is dry, the ground hard under their feet, and the only sound is the creak of the raiders' saddles and the occasional sob that escapes a captive's lips. Bakari clings to the memory of his mother's lullaby, its melody a fragile thread tying him to home. The journey is brutal, each step a reminder of what's been lost. The captives are given little water, their throats parched, their bodies aching from the relentless pace. Some fall, too weak to continue, and the raiders show no mercy, their whips cracking like thunder. Bakari walks beside a young girl, Awa, barely 14, her eyes wide with terror. She was taken from a neighboring village, her family left behind, and she whispers to Bakari of her brother, who loved to carve wooden birds. They share these small stories, their voices low, a quiet act of defiance against the ropes that bind them. The savannah stretches endlessly, its grasses swaying under a merciless sun, and the captives' only solace is the cool of the night when they huddle together under the stars, their breaths mingling in the dark. Niani looms on the horizon, its walls a distant promise of rest, but also of a new kind of hardship. For Bakari, Awa and Naya, the city is not a beacon of wealth, but a place where their lives will be reshaped. They are led through the market we've seen before, its colors and sounds a blur to their weary eyes. The air is thick with the scent of spices and dust, but for the captives, it's the weight of their chains that defines the moment. They are sorted like goods, some sent to mines, others to households, a few to the royal compound. Bakari is separated from Nia, her cry echoing in his ears as she's led away. He's bound for the gold mines of Wangara to join men like Kofi, whose story we know. Awa is sent to a merchant's home, her fate entwined with Amina's, while Naya faces an uncertain future in a noble's service. The empire's hunger for labor drives these raids, its wealth built on the lives it claims. Mansa Musa's reign, glorious as it is, relies on a steady flow of captives, prisoners of war, debtors, or those born into servitude. The griots rarely sing of these moments, their songs focused on the kings, mosques, and markets. But the weight of capture is a story etched in the faces of the enslaved. Picture Bakari now in the mines, his hands gripping a pick, his body learning the rhythm of survival. He meets Kofi, whose quiet strength becomes a guide, their shared stories a lifeline in the darkness. AWA in the merchant's household finds Amina their whispered conversations a small rebellion against their lot. Naya, though separated, carries her son's voice in her heart, her songs a prayer for his safety. As the night settles over Niani, the city's lanterns flicker like stars, their light a faint echo of the Empire's gold. The air is cool now, the hum of the market replaced by the soft chirp of crickets in the distant lap of the Niger. The weight of capture lingers, a heavy truth beneath Mali's glory, but so does the resilience of those who endure. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the savannah's stars fade, the rhythm of the captive's march softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow we'll follow Bakari's journey to Niani, where the Empire's heart reveals its complexities. Rest now, and let the weight of history guide you to dreams. As the stars fade over Niani, their light softening into the first blush of dawn, the city begins to stir, its streets humming with the promise of another day. The Niger River flows quietly, its waters catching the early light, while the air carries the scent of dew and distant fires. We felt the weight of capture, walked with Bakari Awa and Nia through the savannah's dust, their lives torn from villages now lost to memory. The Mali Empire's golden age shines bright under Mansa Musa's reign. But for those bound in servitude, every step toward the capital is a step into a new world of toil. Now, we follow their journey's end, where the city's walls loom large, and the reality of their new lives takes shape. This is the long march to Niani, where the captives arrive in the heart of the empire, their stories weaving into its bustling rhythm. Let my voice cradle you, soft as a night breeze, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. The march to Niani has been grueling, days blending into nights under a relentless sun. Picture Bakari, his wrists raw from ropes, his feet blistered from the hard earth, walking in a line of captives that stretches like a wound across the savannah. The air is dry, the scent of dust mingling with the sweat of those around him. Awa walks nearby, her small frame hunched, her eyes fixed on the ground to avoid the raiders' whips. Nia, separated but not far, clings to the hope of seeing her son again, her steps heavy but steady. The caravan moves slowly, the creak of saddles and the groans of camels a constant backdrop. At night, when the march halts, the captives huddle together, their bodies aching but their spirits tethered by whispered stories. Bakari shares a tale of his village's harvest festival, the memory of drums and dancing a fragile shield against despair. Iwalk listens, her voice soft as she speaks of her brother's wooden birds, their wings carved with dreams of flight. That is Niani's walls appear on the horizon. The captives' hearts stir with a mix of dread and relief. The city is a marvel, its mud brick buildings glowing under the sun, their surfaces etched with patterns that speak of wealth and power. The market's noise reaches them first, a cacophony of voices, the clatter of cowrie shells, the bellow of livestock. The air is thick with the scent of roasted yams and spices, a stark contrast to the dust of the march. For Bakari, Awa, and Naya, this is no homecoming. It's the beginning of a life defined by servitude. The raiders lead them through the city's gates, past stalls piled high with salt, gold, and cloth, where merchants glance at them with the same indifference they give a sack of grain. The captives are herded to a holding area, a dusty compound where they're sorted like goods, some bound for mines, others for households, a few for the royal court. Bakari is destined for the gold mines of Wangara, his strength marking him for the grueling work ahead. He's separated from Nia, her cry piercing the air as she's led to a noble's compound. Awa, small and quick, is sent to a merchant's household, her fate entwining with Amina's, whom we've met before. The moment of parting is sharp, a wound that lingers as Bakari's eyes search for his mother one last time. The compound is crowded, the air heavy with the scent of sweat and fear, but there's no time for grief. Bakari is chained with other men, their wrists bound as they're marched south toward the mines. The road is long, the sun merciless, and the overseer's whips crack with every stumble. Bakari's mind clings to his mother's lullaby, its notes a lifeline as Niani fades behind him. For Owa, the merchant's household is a world of endless tasks. Picture her stepping into a courtyard where Amina sweeps, the broom's bristles whispering against the earth. The house is grand, its walls adorned with woven tapestries, its air scented with incense and roasted meat. Awa is given a basket, her hands trembling as she learns to carry water from the Niger, its coolness a fleeting relief against her skin. Amina, seeing the fear in Awa's eyes, offers a small smile, a silent promise of companionship. They work side by side, their tasks blending into a rhythm of survival, sweeping, cooking, hauling. The merchant's family moves through the house, their voices loud with laughter, their plates heavy with food Awa and Amina will never taste. At night, in the dim corner of the servants' quarters, Awa whispers to Amina about her brother, her voice breaking as she speaks of his carved birds. Amina listens, her own stories of home a quiet offering in return. Naya, meanwhile, enters the noble's compound, her hands still strong despite the march. She's tasked with tending a garden, her fingers digging into the earth to plant sorghum and millet. The sun burns her back, the soil staining her hands, but she works with a quiet dignity. Her thoughts on Bakari. The noble's household is a place of opulence, its rooms filled with gold ornaments and silk cushions, but for Naya it's a prison of labor. She overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, the grand journey to Mecca that will carry Mali's name across the world. The nobles speak of gold and glory, but Nia's heart aches for her son. Her song's a prayer for his safety. She hums as she works, the melody a thread connecting her to the village she lost. Its notes a defiance against the chains that bind her. The empire's wealth depends on these lives. Their labor the foundation of its markets and palaces. Picture a caravan leaving Niani, its camels laden with gold mined by men like Bakari, its drivers unaware of the lives left behind in the dust. The griots sing of Mansa Musa's greatness, of mosques rising and markets thriving, but they rarely speak of the raids that feed the empire's hunger, the marches that bring captives to its heart. Yet, in the quiet moments, there is resilience. Bakari on his way to the mines shares a glance with another captive, their eyes speaking of shared loss. Awa and Amina in the merchant's courtyard find strength in their whispered stories. Naya in the garden plants seeds with care, each one a small act of hope. As Niani settles into evening, the city's lanterns glow, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the scent of dust giving way to the soft perfume of night-blooming flowers. The empire's heart beats strong, but its pulse carries the weight of those who toil in its shadows. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you liked the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of Niani's evening lull you, the image of its glowing walls fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow we'll join the caravans crossing the Sahara, where voices rise above the dunes. Rest now and let the empire's heartbeat guide you to dreams. As the lanterns of Niani dim under the weight of night, their flickering light gives way to the vast darkness of the Sahara, where the stars burn bright above an endless sea of dunes. The Mali Empire's heart beats in its cities, but its lifeblood flows through the caravans that cross this unforgiving desert, carrying gold, salt, and the weight of human lives. We've walked with Bakari Awa and Nia through the pain of capture and the long march to Niani, their stories now woven into the empire's golden tapestry. But the journey doesn't end at the city's gates. For many it stretches further, across the sands to distant markets. This is Voices in the Caravans, where we follow the trails of trade, where the whispers of the enslaved rise above the creak of camel saddles. Their resilience, a quiet song in the desert's silence. Let my voice wrap you gently, like the cool night air, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. The Sahara is a world of extremes, its dunes glowing under the midday sun, their curves sharp against a sky so blue it hurts the eyes. Picture a caravan stretching across this vastness, a line of camels swaying under heavy loads, their hooves sinking into the sand. The air is dry, the heat a relentless weight, and the only sounds are the groans of the beasts, the creak of leather, and the soft commands of the drivers. Among them are captives like Bakari, now bound for a market beyond Niani, his wrists still chafed from ropes, his body weary from the mines. He's been pulled from Wangara, his labor traded to a merchant, bound for the northern city of Walata, where golden slaves fetch high prices. Bakari walks beside the camels, his steps heavy, the sand burning through his worn sandals. The caravan is a lifeline for the empire, carrying its wealth to distant lands, but for Bakari it's another chain, another journey from one servitude to another. The caravan is a microcosm of Mali's world, a mix of free and bound, of wealth and want. The merchants, their robes dusted with sand, ride at the front, their eyes sharp as they scan the horizon for raiders or mirages. Behind them the enslaved carry the burdened sacks of salt, baskets of gold, bolts of cloth, their backs bent under the weight. Among them is a woman named Zainab, captured in a raid like Bakari, her hands calloused from years of labor. She walks with a quiet strength, her eyes tracing the dunes as she hums a song from her village, its melody faint but unbroken. Zainab's presence is a comfort to Bakari, her voice a reminder of home, and they share small moments of connection, whispered words about the rivers they once knew, the taste of roasted yams by a fire. These stories, told under the stars, are their rebellion, a way to claim a piece of themselves in a world that sees them as goods. The journey across the Sahara is perilous, the days long and the nights cold. Picture the caravan halting at dusk, the camels kneeling as fires are lit, their flames casting shadows on the dunes. The air smells of dust and smoke, the silence broken by the crackle of wood and the low murmur of voices. The enslaved gather in small groups, their bodies aching but their spirits tethered by shared stories. Bakari listens as Zainab speaks of her daughter, left behind in a village now lost, her voice trembling but steady. He shares his own tale, of his mother Nia and her lullabies, the memory a shield against the desert's harshness. The stars above are a map of hope, their patterns guiding the caravan but also reminding the captives of the skies they once knew as free. The drivers, hardened by years of travel, pay little mind, their focus on the gold and salt that will bring profit in Wallata back. In the end, AWA and Amina continue their work in the merchant's household, their lives a rhythm of tasks that never end. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in as they sweep, cook and carry. Awa, still young, clings to Amina's quiet strength, her small hands learning the weight of water jars, her heart holding tight to memories of her brother's carved birds. Amina, older and wearier, finds solace in Awa's presence. Their whispered conversations a lifeline. They hear rumors of the caravans, of captives like Bakari being traded across the desert, and the thought weighs heavy. Amina thinks of her own village, its fields now a distant dream. And she teaches Awa a song her mother sang, its notes a thread connecting them to lives they've lost. The merchant's household is a place of plenty, its tables laden with food, but for Awa and Amina, hunger is a constant companion. Their meals scraps shared in the dark dot in the noble's compound. Nia labors in the garden, her hands deep in the earth as she plants sorghum under the sun's relentless gaze. The air is thick with the scent of soil and sweat, her back aching but her spirit unbroken. She overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now taking shape as a grand journey to Mecca, a caravan of thousands that will carry Mali's wealth. Across the Sahara, the nobles speak of gold and glory, but Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, somewhere in the empire's vastness. She sings as she works, her voice low, a lullaby that carries her love across the distance. The garden is her prison, but it's also her sanctuary. Each seed she plants a small act of hope, a belief that life persists even in the hardest soil. The caravans are the empire's arteries, linking Niani to Timbuktu, Wallata and beyond, carrying the gold that makes Mansa Musa's name legendary. But they also carry lives like Bakari's and Zainab's, their labor traded as easily as salt or cloth. Picture the market at Wallata where the caravan arrives after weeks of travel. Its stalls, alive with the shouts of traders, the air is filled with the clink of gold, the rustle of fabric. But for the enslaved, it's a moment of uncertainty. Bakari and Zainab are led to a holding area, their fates in the hands of merchants who weigh their worth in coin. The grip sing of the empire's greatness, but they rarely tell of the caravan's human cargo, of the voices that rise in the night, carrying stories of home. As the caravan rests, the desert grows quiet, its dunes bathed in moonlight, the air cool against the skin. The fires burn low, their embers glowing like the hopes of those who share them. Bakari and Zainab sit together, their voices a soft defiance, their stories a bridge to the lives they've left behind. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the Sahara's starlit dunes fade, the creak of the caravan softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll descend into the salt mines, where the empire's wealth exacts a bitter toll. Rest now, and let the desert's whispers guide you to dreams. As the moonlight fades over the Sahara's dunes, the caravan's fires dwindle to embers, and the soft whispers of Bakari and Zainab blend with the desert's silence. The Mali Empire's wealth flows through these trade routes, its gold and salt binding cities like Niani and Wallata to the world beyond. But for those bound in servitude like Bakari, the journey across the sands is only the beginning of a harsher reality. The empire's hunger for resources drives them to places where the earth itself seems to resist, where labor is a test of endurance. We've followed the captives' voices through the caravans, their stories a quiet defiance against their chains. Now, we descend into the heart of that labor, to a place where the sun is merciless and the work unending. This is the salt mines, a bitter toil, where the empire's wealth is carved from the earth by hands like Bakari's, their sweat mixing with the dust. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a cool night breeze, carrying you towards sleep as we weave deeper into this tale. The salt mines of Tagaza lie far north of Niani, a desolate outpost in the Sahara's heart, where the air shimmers with heat and the ground is crusted with salt. Picture a landscape stark and unyielding, the dunes giving way to flat, blinding expanses where the earth itself seems to sweat white crystals. The year is still in the early 14th century, under Mansa Musa's reign, and Tagaza is a cornerstone of Mali's wealth. Salt, as precious as gold, is mined here in great slabs, carried south to feed the empire's markets, but this wealth comes at a cost. Bakari, now arrived after his long march from Niani, steps into this world of bitter toil. His wrists are still raw, his body weary, but the mines demand more. The air is thick with dust, stinging his eyes and coating his throat as he joins a line of workers wielding picks and chisels under a sun that feels like fire on his skin. The work in Tagaza is relentless. Imagine Bakari standing in a shallow pit, his pick striking the hard, salty earth, each blow sending a jolt through his arms. The overseers pace nearby, their shouts sharp, their whips a constant threat. The salt is heavy, its edges sharp as It's cut into slabs, and Bakri's hands blister quickly, the pain a steady companion. The heat is suffocating, the air so dry it steals his breath, and there's little water to ease the thirst that gnaws at him. The other workers, their faces lined with exhaustion, move in a rhythm born of necessitist, lift, stack, repeat. Among them is Zainab, her strength unbroken despite the march, her hands steady as she carves slabs beside Bakri. They share a glance, a silent acknowledgement of their shared fate, their eyes speaking what words cannot. The mines are a world apart from Niani's vibrant markets or Timbuktu's scholarly courtyards. There are no griots here, no songs of Mansa Musa's glory, only the clink of tools and the labored breathing of the enslaved. Picture the landscape at midday, the sun a white-hot orb, the salt flats reflecting its glare until the world seems to burn. The workers' clothes are stiff with sweat and salt, their skin cracked from the relentless dryness. Yet, amidst this toil there are moments of connection. At night, when the work pauses, the workers gather around small fires, their glow a faint comfort against the cold desert air. Bakri listens as an elder, a man named Issa, speaks of his homeland, a place where rivers run cool and the stars tell stories of ancestors. Issa's voice is hoarse, but his words are a gift, and Bakri clings to them, adding his own memory of his mother Nia's lullaby, its melody a thread of hope. Back in Niani, Awa and Amina continue their labor in the merchants' household, their lives bound to the rhythm of the city. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in as they sweep and carry, their hands raw from endless tasks. Awa, still young, follows Amina's lead, her small frame struggling under the weight of water jars. They hear whispers of the salt mines, of places like Tagaza where captives are sent, and the thought sends a chill through them. Amina, her heart heavy with memories of her own village, teaches Awa to braid grass into small figures, a skill from her childhood. They work in the dim light of the servants' quarters, their fingers weaving stories of home, their laughter soft but defiant. The merchant's table is laden with salt from Tagaza, its white crystals a reminder of the labor that fuels his wealth. But Awa and Amina eat only scraps, their hunger a constant shadow on the noble's compound. Nia tends the garden, her hands deep in the earth as she plants millet under the sun's gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat, her back aching but her spirit holding fast. She overhears the nobles speak of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now in its final preparations, a caravan of thousands that will carry gold and salt across the Sahara. The thought of such wealth stirs her, but her heart is with Bakri somewhere, in the empire's vastness. She sings as she works, her voice low, a lullaby that carries her love across the distance. Each seed she plants is a prayer, each row a hope that her son endures. The garden is her prison, but it's also her refuge, a place where she can nurture life, even in servitude. The salt mines are a crucible, shaping both the empire and those who toil within them. The slabs of salt, heavy and rough, are loaded onto camels, bound for markets where they'll be traded for gold or cloth. But each slab carries the weight of lives like Bakri's and Zainab's, their labor etched into its surface. The grass sing of Molly's wealth, of caravans crossing the desert, but they rarely tell of the mines, of the hands that bleed for salt. Yet, in the quiet of the night, the workers' voices rise, their stories a defiance against the chains that bind them. Bakri and Zainab share a moment by the fire, their eyes tracing the stars. Their words a promise to endure. As Tagaza settles into night, the desert grows cold, its silence broken only by the crackle of fires and the soft hum of voices. The salt flats shimmer under the moonlight, their surface a mirror of the empire's wealth and its cost. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of Tagaza starlit flats fade, the clink of picks softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow we'll listen to the griots whose songs carry the names of the forgotten. Rest now, and let the desert's silence guide you to dreams. As the cold night settles over the salt mines of Tagaza, the embers of the workers' fires glow faintly, their light swallowed by the vast darkness of the Sahara. The air is crisp, carrying the faint sting of salt dust, while the soft voices of Bakri, Zainab and their fellow laborers weave stories that defy the silence of their servitude. The Mali Empire's wealth, built on gold and salt, pulses through its cities and trade routes. But it's in these quiet moments that the human cost of that wealth comes into focus. We've walked the long march to Niani and felt the bitter toil of the mines. But now we turn to a different kind of voice, one that carries the past into the present, preserving names and dreams that might otherwise fade. This is the tale of forgotten names, where the storytellers of Mali keep history alive. Their songs a bridge between the empire's glory and its unseen sacrifices. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a soft blanket, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In the heart of Niani. As dawn breaks over the city, the air stirs with the scent of dew and wood smoke, the streets slowly waking to the rhythm. of the empire. The griots, the keepers of Mali's history, move through the city like living archives. Their voice is a thread connecting past to present. Picture a griot named Demba, his fingers dancing across the strings of a kora, its notes rising like a river under the morning sun. His robes are simple, but his presence commands attention, his eyes sharp with the weight of stories. He stands in a courtyard near the royal compound where nobles and traders gather, their murmurs falling silent as he begins to sing. The air fills with the melody of his voice, telling of Sundiata's victories, of Mansa Musa's wealth, of mosques rising like beacons in the desert. But Demba's songs are more than praise. They carry the names of the forgotten, the lives woven into the empire's foundations. Demba's tale today is one of a village lost to a raid, its people scattered like seeds on the wind. He sings of a young man much like Bakary, whose voice once filled the savannah with laughter, now silenced by the chains of servitude. The nobles listen, their faces softening, but they hear only the glory of conquest, not the pain of loss. Demba's words are careful, his verses layered with meaning, for a griot must balance truth with survival. He sings of the gold that adorns Mansa Musa's court, but he also weaves in the sweat of those who mine it, their hands shaping the empire's wealth. His kora hums, its strings vibrating with the weight of names. Bakary Nia are names that might vanish without his voice. The air is warm now, the scent of roasted yams drifting from nearby stalls, and the crowd sways, caught in the rhythm of his tale. Far from Niani, in the salt mines of Tagaza, Bakary labors under the relentless sun, his pick striking the earth, each blow a reminder of his stolen life. The dust clings to his skin, the heat presses on his chest, but his mind drifts to the griots of his village, whose songs once filled his evenings with pride. He remembers a griot who sang of his ancestors, their names carried on the wind like a prayer. Now in the mines, Bakary finds a new griot in Issa, the elder we met before. At night, by the fire's faint glow, Issa's voice rises, hoarse but steady, telling of a warrior who defied a king, of a mother who sang to her child through the darkness. Bakary listens, his heart lifting, and he adds his own story of Nia, lullaby, and the village he lost. The stars above Tagaza are a canvas, their light a reminder that their names endure. Even here, Niani, Iwar, and Amina continue their work in the merchant's household, their days a blur of task sweeping, the courtyard, hauling water, cooking meals they'll never taste. The air is thick with the scent of spices and dust, their hands raw from endless labor. Awa, still young, clings to Amina's quiet strength, her eyes bright with the stories they share in the dim servants' quarters. They hear a griot's song from the market, its melody drifting through the walls, and Amina pauses, her broom still. The griot sings of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now underway, a caravan of thousands crossing the Sahara with gold enough to shake the world. But Amina hears something else in the song, a fleeting mention of a girl like Adwa, her courage, a spark in the darkness. Adwa smiles, her fingers tracing the grass figures they've woven, their shapes a silent vow to remember their own names. Nia, in the noble's garden, kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat, her back aching but her spirit holding fast. She overhears the nobles speak of the griots, their songs a source of pride, but Nia knows the truth they rarely tell. She hums her own song, a lullaby for Bakary, its notes a griot's tale of her own making. The garden is her prison, but it's also her stage, where each seed she plants is a story of survival, a hope that her son's name will not be forgotten. The griots she knows carry the empire's history, but they also carry her pain, her love, her resilience, even if they never speak her name. The griots are the empire's memory, their songs a tapestry of triumph and loss. In Timbuktu, they to sing in the courtyards of Sanka Mosque, their voices mingling with the scratch of scholars' quills. In Walata they tell of caravans crossing the desert, their words painting pictures of gold and salt. But in the mines, the fields, the households, the enslaved are their own griots, their stories whispered in the dark, their names a defiance against oblivion. Picture Demba, now resting under a baobab tree, his kora silent, his eyes tracing the stars. He knows the weight of his role, the delicate dance of truth and survival, and he carries the forgotten in his heart. Their names a quiet vow, as Niani settles into evening. The city's lanterns glow, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft chirp of crickets and the distant strum of a kora. The griots' songs linger, a bridge between the empire's glory and its hidden pain. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the melody of Demba's kora fade, the rhythm of his words softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll linger in the shadows of Niani's palaces, where lives like Amina's and Awa's unfold. Rest now, and let the griot's tale guide you to dreams. As the kora's final notes fade over Niani, the city's lanterns cast a soft glow, their light mingling with the cool breath of the Niger River under a starlit sky. The Gryout Dembar's voice lingers, carrying the names of the forgotten, a quiet rebellion against the Empire's golden narrative. The Mali Empire shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its wealth a beacon across the world. But for those bound in servitude, the palaces and markets are a distant dream, their lives unfolding in the shadows of grandeur. We've heard the Gryout songs and felt the bitter toil of the salt mines, but now we return to the heart of Niani, where the daily lives of the enslaved shape the Empire's pulse. This is life in the shadow of palaces, where Amina and others like them navigate a world of labor and resilience. Their stories woven into the city's rhythm. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a warm night breeze, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. The dawn breaks over Niani, the sun painting the mud brick palaces in hues of gold and amber. The air is fresh, scented with dew and the faint smoke of morning fires, as the city stirs to life. In the merchant's household, Amina rises before the light, her hands already moving, sweeping the courtyard with a broom that whispers against the earth. The compound is grand, its walls adorned with woven tapestries, its rooms filled with the scent of incense and roasted meat. Awa, now a familiar presence at Amina's side, follows her lead, her small hands clutching a water jar. Its weight a constant strain. Their days are a cycle of tasks: sweeping, cooking, hauling, cleaning, each one a thread in the fabric of the merchant's wealth. The air is thick with the clatter of dishes and the chatter of the family, their voices loud with plans for trade and feasts. But for Amina and Awa, the world is narrowed to the courtyard's walls, their lives measured in chores. Picture Amina moving through the household, her steps silent but purposeful, her eyes catching glimpses of a life she never lived. The merchant's wife wears a necklace of gold, its links forged by hands like Bakari's in the mines, its shimmer a cruel contrast to Amina's worn robe. She prepares meals: millet porridge, roasted goat, honeyed yams, her hands deft despite the hunger that gnaws at her. Awa, still learning, spills a jar of water, her heart racing as the merchant's sharp voice cuts through the air. Amina steps in, her touch gentle, guiding Awa to clean the spill, their shared glance a silent vow of support. The courtyard is their stage, its dust and heat their constant companions, but in these small moments they find a bond that defies their chains. Amina teaches Awa to weave grass figures, their shapes rough but loved, a secret shared in the dim light of the servants' quarters. Across the city, in the noble's compound, Nia labors in the garden, her hands deep in the earth as she tends rows of sorghum and millet. The sun burns her back, the air heavy with the scent of soil and sweat. But she works with a quiet dignity, her thoughts on Bakari somewhere in the empire's vastness. The noble's household is a world of opulence, its tables laden with food, its walls adorned with gold and ivory. Naya overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage now crossing the Sahara, a caravan of thousands carrying gold enough to dazzle the world. The nobles speak of glory, but Nia's heart carries a different story of a village lost, a son torn away. She hums as she plants, her lullaby a prayer for Bakari's safety, each seed a hope that their names will endure. The garden is her prison, but it's also her sanctuary, where she nurtures life even in servitude. In the gold mines of Wangpura, far from Niani's palaces, Bakari toils alongside Kofi, their picks striking earth in a rhythm of survival. The tunnels are dark, the air thick with dust that clings to their skin and stings their eyes. The overseer's whips are a constant threat, their voices sharp, but Bakari and Kofi find solace in their shared labor. At night, by the fire's faint glow, they sit with others, their voices low as they share stories of home. Kofi speaks of his sister's laughter, Bakari of Nia's lullabies, their words a lifeline in the darkness. The elder Isa joins them, his hoarse voice weaving tales of ancestors who walked free, their names carried by the stars. The mines are a crucible, their labor fueling the empire's wealth, but these moments are their rebellion, a refusal to let their spirits be buried with the gold. The palaces of Niani stand as monuments to Mansa Musa's vision, their walls a testament to the empire's power. Picture a feast in the royal compound, its tables groaning under platters of food, its air filled with the strum of chorus strings and the laughter of nobles. Gold dust is scattered like confetti, its shimmer catching the lamplight, but the hands that serve the feast, hands like Amina's, Nia's, Awa's, are invisible. The gold that adorns the guests was mined by Bakari and Kofi, the food grown by Naya, yet their labor goes unnoticed, their lives a shadow cast by the empire's light. The Griots sing of Musa's greatness, but the names of the enslaved are rarely spoken, their stories carried only in whispers. In the quiet defiance of those who endure, yet in the shadows, there is resilience. Picture Amina and Awa late at night, sitting in the servants' quarters, their grass figures a small treasure. Amina tells Awa of a river in her village, its waters cool and clear, and Awa shares a memory of her brother's carved birds, their wings a dream of freedom. In the garden, Naya plants a seed with care, her fingers tracing a pattern in the earth, a silent vow to remember. In the mines, Bakari carves a line into a rock, its shape a mark of his existence, a name that will not be forgotten. These small acts are their griots' songs, their stories a thread in the empire's tapestry. As Niani settles into night, the city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft chirp of crickets and the distant lap of the river. The palaces stand tall, but their shadows hold the lives of those who built them. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of Niani's glowing walls fade, the rhythm of Amina's broom softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow we'll follow the Niger River, a silent witness to the empire's triumphs and tragedies. Rest now, and let the city's heartbeat guide you to dreams. As the lanterns of Niani dim, their soft glow fades into the night, leaving the city wrapped in the quiet embrace of the Niger River. Its waters lap gently against the banks, reflecting the stars like a mirror of dreams, while the air carries the faint scent of earth and night-blooming flowers. We've lingered in the shadows of palaces, walked with Amina, Awa, and Nia through their daily toils, and felt the weight of Bakari's labor in the mines. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its wealth a testament to ambition. But the river that flows through its heart has seen more than glory. It has witnessed the silent struggles of those bound to its service. This is the river Niger's silent witness, where the lifeblood of the empire carries stories of resilience and loss, flowing through the lives of those who shape its course. Let my voice wrap you gently, like the river's current carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. The Niger River is the empire's artery, winding through Niani's bustling streets and beyond. Its waters a lifeline for trade and survival. Picture its surface at dawn, shimmering under the first light, its banks alive with the chatter of fishermen and the splash of wooden boats. The air is fresh, scented with mud and reeds, as women wash cloth in the shallows, their laughter mingling with the river's hum. For the people of Mali, the Niger is more than water. It's a path for caravans, a source of fish, a thread that ties villages to cities like Timbuktu and Gao. Merchants rely on its currents to carry goods, gold, salt, and grain, while farmers depend on its floods to nourish their fields. But for the enslaved, like Amina, Awa, and Nia, the river is both a refuge and a reminder, its cool waters a fleeting escape from their labor, its flow a witness to their unspoken pain. In the merchant's household, Amina and Awa begin their day by the river's edge, their jars heavy as they draw water for the day's tasks. The Niger is cool against their hands, its ripples catching the sunlight, but the weight of their chores presses close. Amina kneels, her reflection wavering in the water, her thoughts drifting to a village where a different river once sang her to sleep. Awa beside her splashes water on her face, a small act of defiance against the heat, her eyes bright with the memory of her brother's carved birds. They work in silence, their hands moving in rhythm, but their shared glances speak of a bond forged in hardship. The river carries their quiet moments, its current holding the weight of their dreams, a dream of a day without chains, a life where the water is theirs to enjoy, not just to fetch dart across the city. Nia labors in the noble's garden, her hands deep in the earth, the Niger's waters channeled to irrigate her rows of millet and sorghum. The air is thick with the scent of soil and sweat, her back aching under the sun's gaze, but the river's presence is a small comfort. She pauses to drink, the water cool against her lips, and her mind turns to Bakari, somewhere in the empire's vastness. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer that he's safe. The noble's household is a world of plenty, its tables laden with food grown by Nia's hands, but she eats only scraps, her hunger a constant shadow. The Niger flowing nearby sees her toil, its waters a silent witness to her resilience, carrying her songs downstream where they mingle with the empire's pulse. Far from Niani, in the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari works in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking earth, the dust clinging to his skin. The Niger is distant here, but its tributaries feed the land, their waters used to wash the gold that fuels Mali's wealth. Bakari's hands are blistered, his body scarred, but he finds solace in the stories shared by the fire at night. Kofi, his companion, speaks of a river in his village, where he fished as a boy, its waters alive with silverfish. Bakari adds his own memory of fishing with Naya, their laughter echoing over the Niger's banks. The elder Isa joins them, his voice hoarse as he tells of a river spirit, said to guard the Niger, watching over those who suffer. The mines are harsh, the overseer's whips a constant threat, but these stories, shared under the stars, are a lifeline, their words carried as if by the river itself. The Niger is more than a waterway, it's a witness to the empire's contrasts. Picture a boat gliding along its surface, laden with gold and salt, its oars dipping rhythmically as it heads for Timbuktu. The boatmen sing, their voices low, but the cargo they carry was mined by hands like Bakari's, grown by hands like Nia's. The river sees the merchant's wealth, the gold that adorns Mansa Musa's caravan, now crossing the Sahara toward Mecca, its splendor shaking the world. But it also sees the enslaved, their labor, the foundation of that wealth. In Timbuktu, the river flows past the Sanka Mosque, where scholars debate under shaded awnings, their manuscripts piled high. The air is filled with the scratch of quills and the scent of parchment, but the river knows the hands that built the mosque, the feet that walked its stones. The enslaved find moments of respite by the Niger's banks. Imagine Amina and Awa late in the day, stealing a moment to rest by the water, their jars set aside. Amina teaches Awa a game from her childhood, skipping stones across the river's surface, their ripples a fleeting mark of freedom. Awa laughs, her voice soft, and for a moment the weight of their tasks lifts. In the garden, Nia kneels by a small channel fed by the Niger, her fingers tracing the water's flow, her heart holding Bakari close. In the mines, Bakari dreams of the river, its coolness a contrast to the dust that chokes him, its flow a promise of something beyond the tunnels. These moments, small as they are their defiance. Their stories carried by the Niger's silent current. As night falls over Niani, the river reflects the city's lanterns, their light dancing like fireflies on its surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft lap of water and the chirp of crickets. The Niger flows on, a witness to the empire's glory and its pain, carrying the stories of Amina, Awa, Naya, and Bakari downstream. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of the river's flow lull you, the image of its starlit waters fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relaxed, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll meet a mother whose hope was stolen, yet whose spirit endures. Rest now, and let the Niger's current guide you to dreams. As the Niger River's gentle ripples fade into the night, their soft lapping blends with the hum of crickets, and the stars cast a silver glow over Niani's sleeping city. The river has borne witness to the Mali Empire's golden age, its waters, carrying the wealth of gold and salt, but also the silent stories of Amina, Awa, Nia, and Bakari, whose lives are bound to its rhythm. We've followed the river's flow, felt its cool touch in moments of respite, and seen its role as a lifeline for an empire built on ambition and sacrifice. But the river also carries deeper tales, stories of loss that cut like a blade, yet spark resilience in the hearts of those who endure. This is a mother's stolen hope, where we linger with Naya, whose love for her son Bakari holds fast despite the chains that bind her. Her spirit a light in the empire's shadows. Let my voice wrap you gently, like the night's cool air, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. In the noble's compound in Niani, the dawn breaks softly, the sun painting the mud brick walls in hues of gold and rose. The air is fresh, scented with dew and the faint earthiness of the garden where Nia kneels, her hands deep in the soil. The rows of millet and sorghum stretch before her, their green tips swaying in the breeze, a testament to her labor. The night flows nearby, its waters channeled to feed the garden. Its presence a quiet comfort as Naya works under the sun's growing heat. Her back aches, her hands are stained with earth, but her thoughts are with Bakari, her son, taken from her during the march to Niani. The memory of his capture, his cry as he was led away. The dust of the savannah swallowing his form cuts deep, a wound that festers with every passing day. Yet Nia's heart holds tight to hope, her love a fire that refuses to die. The noble's household is a world of opulence. Its courtyards swept clean, its rooms filled with the scent of incense and roasted meat. The family moves through their day, their voices loud with talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now crossing the Sahara with a caravan so grand it shakes the world's markets. Gold flows like water, the nobles say, and Niani's wealth grows with every tale of Musa's generosity. But Nia, hauling baskets of grain to the kitchen, sees none of this wealth. Her meals are scraps, her bed a mat in a crowded corner, her life a cycle of tasks shining only for others. She overhears the nobles speak of the empire's glory, of mosques rising in Timbuktu, of gold mined in Wangara, but her mind is with Bakari somewhere in those mines, his hands breaking the earth for gold he'll never touch. She hums his lullaby, its notes low and steady, a prayer that he's safe, that he remembers her love. In the gold mines of Wangara, far from Niani's gardens, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking stone, the dust coating his throat. The air is heavy, the heat a weight on his chest, but he moves with a quiet resolve, his thoughts drifting to Naya. He remembers her voice, her lullaby, a melody that carried him through childhood, and it anchors him now, a shield against the overseer's whips. Kofi, his companion, works beside him, their shared stories a lifeline in the darkness. At night, by the fire's faint glow, Bakari speaks of Naya, of her strength, her songs, and Kofi listens, adding his own tale of a sister left behind. The elder Issa joins them, his voice hoarse as he tells of a mother who defied raiders to save her child, a story that sparks a flicker of hope in Bakari's heart. The mines are a crucible, their labor fueling the empire's wealth. But Naya's love, carried in Bakari's memory, is a spark that endures. In Niani, Amina and Awa continue their work in the merchant's household, their day is a rhythm of sweeping, cooking, and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and the scent of spices. Awa, still young, clings to Amina's quiet strength, her hands learning the weight of water jars, her heart holding memories of her brother's carved birds. Amina, wearier with each passing day, finds solace in Awa's presence. Their whispered conversations a rebellion against their chains. They hear of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, its grandeur filling the market with talk. But Amina's thoughts turn to Naya, whom she met briefly during the march to Niani. She remembers Naya's lullaby, its melody a thread of hope, and she shares it with Awa, teaching her the notes as they weave grass figures in the dim light of the servants' quarters. Nia's hope, though stolen by capture, is not lost. Picture her in the garden, pausing to rest, her eyes tracing the Niger's flow. The river is her witness, its waters carrying her songs downstream, a silent vow that Bakary will endure. She plants a seed with care, her fingers pressing it into the earth, each one a prayer for her son's safety. The nobles pass by, their robes shimmering with gold, their voices loud with pride. But Nia's world is her garden, her love for Bakary, a light that pierces the shadows. She overhears a griot in the market, his chorus singing of a mother's courage. And though the story isn't hers, it strengthens her resolve. Her lullaby, sung softly as she works, is her griot's tale, a testament to a love that defies servitude. The empire's glory is built on such sacrifices. The gold that dazzles the world, carried by Musa's caravan, is mined by hands like Bakary's. The grain that fills the nobles' tables is grown by hands like Naya's. The households that hum with life are kept by hands like Amina's and Awa's, yet their stories, their hopes, are rarely sung. Picture Niani at dusk, the sun sinking behind the palaces, its light casting long shadows across the city. The air is cool, the scent of earth mingling with the river's breath, as the city settles into night. Naya, Amina, Awa, and Bakary carry their stolen hopes, their resilience, a quiet defiance against the empire's weight. As the night deepens, the Niger flows on, its waters reflecting the stars, a silent witness to the lives it touches. The city's lanterns flicker, their glow softening, the hum of the market replaced by the gentle lap of the river. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of Nia's lullaby lull you, the image of the Niger's starlit waters fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow we'll step into the heat of the goldsmith's forge, where the empire's wealth takes shape. Rest now, and let the river's song guide you to dreams. As the Niger River's soft ripples fade into the night, their gentle lapping blends with the quiet hum of Niani under a starlit sky. The river has carried Nia's lullaby, her hope for Bakary a light against the empire's shadows, while Amina and Awa weave their own resilience in the merchant's courtyard. The Mali Empire's golden age, under Mansa Musa's reign, shines with a brilliance that dazzles the world, its wealth flowing from mines and fields to markets far beyond. But the river knows the cost, its waters reflecting the labor of those, like Bakary toiling in the mines, and Nia planting seeds of hope in a noble's garden. Now, we turn from the river's cool embrace to the searing heat of creation, where the empire's gold takes shape. This is the heat of the goldsmith's forge, where hands like Bakary's transform raw earth into treasures, their sweat fueling the empire's splendor. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading fire's warmth, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In the heart of Niani, the sun climbs high, bathing the city in a golden haze, the air thick with the scent of dust and roasted yams. Near the market, a goldsmith's workshop hums with activity, its mud brick walls blackened by soot, its air heavy with the temps of molten metal. Picture the forge, its fire roaring under a bellow's steady breath, the heat so intense it shimmers in the air. The goldsmith, a man named Sari, works with deft hands, his tools shaping gold into ornaments that will adorn nobles and kings. The glow of the fire catches his face, his eyes sharp with focus, as he hammers a nugget into a delicate ring, its surface gleaming like a captured star. The workshop is a place of creation, where Mali's wealth takes form, each piece a testament to the empire's power under Mansa Musa's reign. But the forge's brilliance hides a harsher truth. Among the workers is a young man named Samba, whom we met in Timbuktu, now sent to Niani to labor in Sori's workshop. His task is to tend the fire, his hands trembling as he pumps the bellows, the heat searing his skin. Samba, barely past boyhood, was born into servitude. His mother, a servant in a merchant's household. His small frame is slick with sweat, his eyes stinging from smoke. But he moves with a quiet resolve, his thoughts drifting to the wooden camel he carved, a secret hidden in his mat. The gold he helped shape will never be his, destined for the necks of nobles or the coffers of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now crossing the Sahara with a splendor that shakes the world. Samba's labor, like the fire he tends, is essential but unseen. His life a shadow in the forge's glow. In the gold mines of Wangara, far from Niani's workshops, Bakary toils alongside Kofi, their picks striking earth in a rhythm of survival. The tunnels are stifling, the dust coating their throats. But the gold they unearth feeds the forges like Sori's. Bakari's hands are blistered, his back scarred, but he clings to memories of Nia, her lullaby, a melody that carries him through the darkness. At night, by the fire's faint glow, he listens to Kofi's stories of his sister, and to Issa the elder, whose tales of ancestors weave hope into their weary hearts. The gold they mine is carried to Niani, where it's transformed into rings, bracelets, and ornaments, each piece a fragment of their labor, their pain. Bakari dreams of the forge, imagining the gold he digs taking shape, but he knows its beauty will never touch his life. In Niani, Amina and Awa continue their work in the merchant's household. Their day is a cycle of sweeping, cooking, and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and spices. Amina, her hands raw from endless tasks, guides Awa, teaching her to carry water jars with less strain. They hear of the goldsmith's work, of ornaments crafted for Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, and Amina thinks of Bakari, whose labor in the mines feeds the forge. She shares a story with Awa of a river in her village where gold dust once sparkled, a memory that feels like a dream. In the dim servants' quarters, they weave grass figures, their fingers tracing stories of home, their laughter soft but defiant. The merchant's wife wears a gold ring, its shine a product of the forge, but Amina and Awa eat only scraps, their hunger a constant companion. In the noble's garden, Naya kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat, her thoughts on Bakari, somewhere in the mines. The Niger's waters, channeled to her garden, are a quiet comfort, their flow carrying her lullaby downstream. She overhears talk of the goldsmith's work, of treasures crafted for the pilgrimage, and her heart aches for her son, whose labor shapes the empire's wealth. Nia's hands are steady, each seed a prayer for Bakari's safety, each row a vow to endure. The noble's household is filled with gold ornaments, their gleam a stark contrast to Nia's worn robe, but her spirit holds fast, her songs a defiance. Against her chains. The forge is a crucible, transforming raw gold into symbols of Mali's power, but its heat burns those who tend it. Picture Samba, pausing to wipe sweat from his brow, his eyes catching the glint of a finished bracelet, its beauty a world apart from his toil. He overhears Suri speak of Mansa Musa's caravan, now reaching distant cities, its gold dazzling kings and merchants. But Samba's world is the forge's heat, the bellows' rhythm, the pain of burns on his hands. Yet, in the quiet of the night, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a testament to his existence. In the mines, Bakari shares a similar moment, carving a pattern into a rock, his story etched in stone. In Niani, Amina and Nia carry their own marks of resilience. Their songs and seeds a rebellion against servitude. As Niani settles into evening, the forge's fire dies down, its glow fading into the night. The air is cool, the scent of the Niger, mingling with the faint smoke of the workshop. The city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the river's surface, a reminder of the empire's wealth and its cost. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the heat of the forge fade, the rhythm of Samba's bellows softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll listen for whispers of rebellion in the night, where the enslaved dream of freedom. Rest now, and let the forge's embers guide you to dreams. As the glow of the goldsmith's forge fades into the night, the air over Niani cools, carrying the faint scent of the Niger River and the lingering smoke of dying fires. The Mali Empire's wealth shines bright, its gold ornaments gleaming in the hands of nobles, but the hands that shape them, hands like Samba's, Bakari's and Nia's, bear the scars of its creation. We've felt the heat of the forge, walked the dusty tunnels of the mines, and knelt in the gardens where hope takes root despite servitude's weight. The empire's golden age, under Mansa Musa's reign, pulses with ambition, but in the quiet corners of the night, another pulse stirs, one of defiance, of dreams that refuse to break. This is Whispers of Rebellion in the Night, where the enslaved, like Amina, Awa and Bakari, find strength in secret moments, their voices rising against the chains that bind them. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a starlit breeze, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In Niani's merchant household, the night is deep, the courtyard silent save for the soft chirp of crickets and the distant lap of the Niger. Amina and Awa sit in the dim servants' quarters, their grass figures clutched in tired hands, their whispers a rebellion against the day's toil. The air is cool, scented with dust and the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers, a fleeting respite from the heat of their tasks. Amina, her eyes heavy with exhaustion, tells Awa a story from her village, a tale of a woman who slipped away from raiders, her footsteps silent in the savannah's grass. The story is likely a myth, but it sparks a fire in Awa's heart. Her young eyes wide with the thought of freedom, they weave another grass figure, its shape a bird with wings spread, a silent vow to dream beyond their chains. The merchant's household sleeps, its table still laden with gold and salt, but Amina and Awa's whispers are their own, A rebellion carried in the night. Across the city, in the noble's compound, Nia rests in the garden's shadow, her body aching from hours of planting under the sun's relentless gaze. The air is thick with the scent of earth and dew. The Nigers flow a soft murmur nearby. Nia's thoughts are with Bakary, her son, somewhere in the gold mines of Wangara. She hums his lullaby, its notes low and steady, a prayer that he's safe. In the quiet, she overhears a whispered conversation among other servants. Their voices hushed as they speak of a man who fled a caravan disappearing into the desert's vastness. The story is dangerous. It's telling a risk, but Nia clings to it, her heart stirring with the possibility of defiance. She traces a pattern in the earth, a spiral that mirrors her lullaby's rhythm, a secret mark of hope that the night holds close. Far from Niani in the gold mines of Wangara, Bakary sits by a dying fire. The stars above Tagaza, a map of dreams. The air is cold, the scent of dust and sweat lingering. As he shares the night with Kofi and the elder Issa, the mines are harsh. The overseer's whip's a constant threat, but the darkness offers a space for rebellion. Issa, his voice hoarse, tells the story of a miner who hid a nugget of gold, not for wealth but as a symbol of resistance, a piece of the earth he claimed as his own. Bakary listens, his heart racing, and he speaks of Nia, of her strength, her songs. Kofi adds his own tale, of a sister who once defied an overseer, her courage a spark in the darkness. They carve patterns into a rock, their lines a quiet act of defiance, a vow that their names will not be erased. These whispers of rebellion are fragile, like embers in the wind, but they burn bright in the hearts of the enslaved. Picture Nia. At midnight, its lanterns dim, the city wrapped in silence save for the soft voices rising in its shadows. The empire's wealth, carried by Mansa Musa's pilgrimage across the Sahara, dazzles distant lands, its gold shaking markets from Cairo to Mecca. But in Niani, in Wangara, in the quiet corners of servitude, the enslaved dream of something more. Amina and Adawa, in their quarters, speak of a day when they might walk free, their grassbirds a symbol of flight. Nia in the garden plants a seed with care, its growth a metaphor for her hope. Bakary in the mines holds a small stone, its weight a reminder of his resolve. The empire's structure is unyielding, its chains tight, but these moments of defiance are a crack in its foundation. Picture a servant in the royal compound, a woman named Mariama who hides a stolen scrap of cloth. Its indigo dye a treasure she keeps secret. Her act is small, but it's hers, a rebellion against a life that claims her every breath. In the mines, a worker named Sekou shares a plan, whispered only to those he trusts, to slow the work, to carve less gold, a silent protest against the overseers. These acts are dangerous, their consequences severe, but they are the sparks that keep hope alive. The whispers that the griots rarely sing but the night holds close. The Mali Empire's glory is built on these lives. Its gold and salt a testament to their labor, but their defiance is a story of its own. Picture Mansa Musa's caravan now far across the Sahara, its camels laden with treasures mined by Bakary, grown by Nia, served by Amina and Dewa. The world marvels at its splendor, but the enslaved know its cost. Their whispers, their stories, their small acts of rebellion are a thread in the empire's tapestry, a defiance that endures in the silence of the night. The air grows cooler now, the scent of the Niger mingling with the earth's breath. As Niani settles into a deeper sleep, as the night wraps Niani in its embrace, the stars shine brighter, their light a canvas for dreams of freedom. The city's rhythm slows, the hum of the market long gone, replaced by the soft lap of the river and the chirp of crickets. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the whispers of rebellion fade, the rhythm of Nia's lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll join a king's feast, where the empire's wealth, it is celebrated, but its cost remains hidden. Rest now, and let the night's defiance guide you to dreams. As the whispers of rebellion fade into Niani's starlit night, the city's quiet deepens, the soft lap of the Niger River blending with the gentle hum of crickets. The Mali Empire's golden age burns bright, its wealth carried across the Sahara by Mansa Musa's grand pilgrimage, but in the shadows of its palaces and mines, Amina, Awa, Nia, and Bakary hold fast to their defiance, their stories a quiet fire against their chains. We've heard their whispered dreams, felt the weight of their labor in the forge and mines, and now we step into the heart of the empire's opulence, where feasts celebrate its glory but hide the toil that makes them possible. This is the cost of a king's feast, where the splendor of Mansa Musa's court dazzles the eye, but the hands of the enslaved, like those of Amina and Nia, bear the true weight. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading ember's warmth, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. The sun rises over Niani, painting the royal compound in hues of gold and amber, its mud brick walls glowing like a beacon of power. The air is fresh, scented with dew and the faint smoke of morning fires. as preparations begin for a grand feast to honor Mansa Musa's return from his pilgrimage. Now the talk of distant lands. Picture the courtyard, bustling with activity, its stones swept clean by unseen hands, its air thick with the aroma of roasting goat and honeyed yams. Tables are laden with platters, millet porridge studded with dates, fish grilled with spices, bowls of sorghum stewage dish, a testament to the empire's wealth. Musicians tune their choras, their strings humming softly, while dancers in vibrant kente cloth practice their steps, their anklets jingling. The nobles gather, their robes shimmering with gold thread, their laughter loud as they anticipate the king's arrival. His caravans treasures a story that will echo through the ages. But behind this splendor lies a hidden cost. Amina, in the merchant's household, is summoned to the royal compound to help with the feast, her hands already raw from days of labor. She moves through the courtyard, her steps silent, carrying trays of food that gleam with the empire's bounty. The air is heavy with the scent of spices and smoke, but Amina's hunger is a constant shadow, her meals only scraps from the merchant's table. She passes nobles, their gold ornaments, glinting rings and necklaces forged by hands like Samba's, mined by hands like Bakari's. Amina's eyes catch the flicker of a lamp, its light a cruel reminder of the forge's heat, but she works on, her thoughts drifting to Awa left behind in the merchant's courtyard, and to the stories they share of home. Her hands tremble as she sets down a tray, the weight of her tasks a mirror to the empire's opulence. In the noble's garden, Naya labors under the sun, her hands deep in the earth, harvesting millet for the feast. The air smells of soil and sweat, her back aching, but she moves with a quiet dignity, her thoughts on Bakari somewhere in the mines of Wangara. The Niger's waters, channeled to a garden, are a faint comfort, their flow carrying her lullaby downstream. She overhears the nobles speak of the feast, of Mansa Musa's return, his caravan laden with gold that shook the markets of Cairo. But Nia knows the cost her son's labor, her own sweat, the lives bound to the empire's hunger. She hums as she works, her voice low, a prayer for Bakari's safety. Each stalk she cuts a vow to endure. The grain she harvests will fill the feast's tables, but Nia's plate remains empty, her resilience a silent defiance. In the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking earth, the dust coating his throat. The air is thick, the heat a weight on his chest, but he clings to memories of Naya, her lullaby, a melody that anchors him. Kofi, beside him, shares a story of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while the elder Issa speaks of a feast in his village, long ago, where all shared the meal. The mines are harsh, the overseer's whips a constant threat, but these stories, told by the fire's glow, are a rebellion against despair. The gold Bakari unearths will reach Niani, transformed in the forge into ornaments for the feast, but he'll never see it shine. His hands, blistered and scarred, carry the cost of the empire's glory, his heart holding tight to Nia's love. Back in Niani, Awa remains in the merchant's household, her small hands sweeping the courtyard, the air thick with dust and spices. Without Amina, the work feels heavier, her heart aching for their shared moments. She overhears talk of the feast of Mansa Musa's return, and she imagines the tables, the music, the gold that dazzles the nobles. But Awa's world is the courtyard's walls, her dreams of her brother's carved birds a fragile escape. She weaves a grass figure, its shape a bird with wings spread, a silent vow to hold fast. The merchant's wife passes, her gold necklace gleaming, a product of Bakari's labor. But Awa's hunger gnaws, her meals only scraps. In the quiet she hums Amina's song, its notes a thread of hope, a rebellion against her chains. The feast begins as evening falls, the royal compound alive with light and sound. Picture Mansa Musa entering, his robes shimmering with gold, his presence commanding as he scatters gold dust among the guests, their cheers rising like a wave. The chorus sing, their strings weaving a melody of triumph, while dancers swirl their movements a prayer for prosperity. The tables groan under the weight of food, the air filled with the scent of spices and laughter. But the hands that prepared the feast, Amina's, Nia's, countless others, are invisible, their labor a shadow behind the empire's light. The gold that adorns the nobles, the grain that fills their plates, the fires that cook their meals, all are born of the enslaved. Their lives the true cost of the king's feast. As the night deepens, the feast's glow fades, Niani settling into silence. The air is cool, the scent of the Niger mingling with the lingering smoke of the fires. Amina returns to the merchant's household, her body weary but her spirit holding fast. Her thoughts on Awa. Nia kneels in the garden, her hands tracing a pattern in the earth, her lullaby a prayer for Bakari. In the mines, Bakari dreams by the fire, his carved rock a mark of his existence. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the feast's fading light lull you, the rhythm of Nia's lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relaxed, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow we'll explore the unbreakable spirits of those bound by chains. Rest now, and let the empire's shadows guide you to dreams. As the last echoes of the king's feast fade into Niani's night, the lantern's glow softens, casting long shadows across the royal compound. The air is cool, scented with the Niger River's breath and the faint smoke of dying fires, while the city settles into a quiet hum. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its wealth celebrated in feasts that dazzle the world. But the hands that prepared them, Amina's, Nia's, and countless others, carry the unseen weight of that glory. We've felt the cost of opulence, heard the whispers of rebellion in the night, and now we linger in the lives of those whose spirits refuse to break despite their chains. This is Bound Hands, Unbroken Spirits, where Amina, Owa, Nia, and Bak hold fast to their resilience, their quiet defiance, a light in the Empire's shadows. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a starlit breeze, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. In the merchant's household, the dawn breaks softly, the sun painting the courtyard in hues of rose and gold. Amina rises, her hands raw from the feast's preparations, her body weary but her spirit steady. The air is fresh, scented with dew and the faint tang of spices lingering from the kitchen. Awa at her side sweeps the courtyard, her small frame bent under the broom's weight, her eyes still bright with the stories they shared in the night. Their tasks are endless: sweeping, hauling water, cooking meals for the merchant's family, but their bond is a quiet rebellion. Amina teaches Aw a new song, its melody soft, a tune from her village about a bird that flies free. They sing in whispers, their voices hidden in the clatter of the household, but the notes are theirs, a defiance against the walls that confine them. Awa clutches a grassbird, its wings a symbol of hope, her heart clinging to memories of her brother's carved figures across Niani in the noble's garden. Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's growing heat. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint murmur as they feed her roes. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, laboring in the mines of Wangara, his face a memory she holds close. The noble's household buzzes with talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, its gold now legendary in distant lands, but Nia's world is the garden, her labor the foundation of their feasts. She hums Bakari's lullaby, its notes a prayer for his safety, each seed she plants a vow to endure. The nobles pass, their robes shimmering with gold from the mines, but Nia's spirit is unbroken, her love a fire that burns despite her chains. She traces a spiral in the earth, a secret mark of resilience, a testament to her unyielding hope. Far from Niani in the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking earth, the dust coating his throat. The air is heavy. The overseer's whip's a constant threat, but Bakari's heart holds tight to Nia's lullaby, its melody a shield against despair. Kofi, beside him, shares a story of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while the elder, Issa, speaks of a warrior who defied his captors, his courage a spark in the darkness. At night, by the fire's faint glow, Bakari carves another line into his rock, its pattern a story of survival, a mark that says he exists. The gold they mine fuels the Empire's wealth, its shimmer adorning the nobles at Niani's feasts. But Bakari's spirit remains his own, his thoughts of Naya a light that refuses to fade. In the merchant's household, Amina and Awa find moments of defiance in their shared tasks. Picture them late in the day, hauling water from the Niger, its coolness a fleeting relief against their skin. Amina pauses, her eyes tracing the river's flow, and she tells Awa of a festival in her village, where dancers moved under the stars, their anklets jingling. Awa listens, her heart lifting, and she shares a memory of her brother, carving birds, by a fire. They laugh softly, their voices a secret in the courtyard's dust, their grass birds a vow to dream beyond their chains. The merchant's wife passes, her gold necklace gleaming, a product of Bakari's labor, but Amina and Awa's songs are their own, their spirits unbroken by the weight of their tasks. The Empire's structure is unyielding, its wealth built on the labor of the enslaved. Picture a market in Niani, its stalls piled high with gold and salt, the air filled with the clink of cowrie shells and the shouts of traders. The gold comes from Wangara, mined by hands like Bakari's. The grain comes from fields like Nia. The households hum with the work of Amina and Awa, yet their spirits burn bright. Their defiance woven into small axe songs sung in secret, patterns traced in earth, carvings etched in stone. In the royal compound, a servant named Ma hides a scrap of indigo cloth, its color a treasure she claims for herself. In the mines, Sekou slows his work, his pick striking softer, a silent protest against the overseers. These acts, small and dangerous, are the threads of an unbroken spirit, a rebellion the griots rarely sing but the night holds close. The Mali Empire's glory is a paradox, its golden age a tapestry of triumph and sacrifice. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now a legend across the Sahara, has left markets in Aw, but the enslaved know its cost. Their hands shape the gold, their sweat feeds the fields, their labor keeps the palaces alive. Yet, in their whispers, their songs, their quiet defiance, they claim a piece of themselves. Picture Niani at dusk, the sun sinking behind the palaces, its light casting long shadows across the city. The air is cool, the scent of the Niger mingling with the earth's breath. As the city settles into night, Amina, Awa, Naya, and Bakari carry their unbroken spirits, their resilience, a light that pierces the empire's shadows. As the night deepens, the Niger flows on, its waters reflecting the stars, a silent witness to the lives it touches. The city's lanterns flicker, their glow softening, the hum of the market replaced by the gentle lap of the river. If you're finding comfort in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you liked the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of Nia's lullaby lull you, the image of her spiral in the earth fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow we'll meet the scholars whose ink flows beside the sweat of the enslaved. Rest now, and let the empire's heartbeat guide you to dreams. As the soft glow of Niani's lanterns fades into the night, the Niger River's gentle ripples carry the last notes of Nia's lullaby, blending with the quiet hum of a city at rest. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under man's reign, its feasts and markets a testament to wealth. But the unbroken spirits of Amina, Awa, Nia, and Bakari burn brighter. Their defiance, a silent rebellion against their chains. We've tasted the cost of a king's feast and felt the resilience of those who toil in its shadows. But now we turn to a different kind of labor, where ink flows beside sweat, and knowledge is crafted in the same spaces where servitude endures. This is the scholar's ink and the slave's sweat, where Timbuktu's halls of learning rise on the labor of the enslaved, their stories woven into the empire's pursuit of wisdom. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading star's light, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In Timbuktu, the sun rises over the Sanka Mosque, its minaret piercing a sky streaked with rose and gold. The air is fresh, scented with dust and the faint tang of parchment. As scholars gather in shaded courtyards, their voices low with debate. Picture the scene, manuscripts piled high, their leather covers worn but cherished, their pages filled with poetry, astronomy, and law. The scratch of quills fills the air, mingling with the hum of recited verses, as students from across the Sahara, Arab, Berber, Mandinka study under the guidance of learned men. Timbuktu is a beacon of knowledge, its reputation drawing minds from Cairo to Andalusia. Its library is a jewel in Mansa Musa's empire. The air is alive with ideas, the scent of wax and ink a constant companion, as the city writes its name into history. But this pursuit of knowledge rests on unseen labor. Among the workers is Samba, our young friend from the goldsmith's forge, now sent to Timbuktu to serve in a scholar's household. His task is to clean the courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the heat of the day already pressing on his small frame. Samba's hands, still scarred from the forge's heat, now sweep dust and carry water, his eyes catching glimpses of manuscripts he'll never read. The scholars, their robes flowing, barely notice him, their focus on the stars or the Quran verses, but Samba listens, his ears catching fragments of their debates, words like constellation and jurisprudence, and in his heart, he dreams of a world where knowledge is his. At night, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a secret rebellion, a mark of his unbroken spirit. In Niani, Amina, and Awa continue their work in the merchant's household. Their day is a rhythm of sweeping, cooking, and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and spices. Amina, her hands raw, guides Awa, teaching her to balance water jars with less strain. They hear of Timbuktu's scholars, of manuscripts that travel the Sahara, and Amina wonders about the hands that carry them, hands like Samba's in the dim servants' quarters. They weave grass figures, their shapes birds with wings spread, a silent vow to dream beyond their chains. Amina shares a story of a teacher in her village, a woman who taught children under a baobab tree, her voice a melody of wisdom. Awa listens, her heart lifting, and she adds a memory of her brother, his carved birds a symbol of flight. Their songs, whispered in the dark, are their own ink. Their spirits a defiance against servitude. On the noble's garden, Naya kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat. The Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her rose. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, laboring in the mines of Wangara, his hands breaking the earth for gold that fuels Timbuktu's libraries. She overhears the nobles speak of the scholars, of manuscripts that carry Mali's name across the world. But Nia knows the cost her son's sweat, her own labor. She hums his lullaby, its notes a prayer for his safety, each seed a vow to endure. The garden is her prison, but it's also her canvas, where she traces spirals in the earth, her own manuscript of hope, a testament to her unbroken spirit. In the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking stone, the dust coating his throat. The air is heavy, the overseer's whips a constant threat, but Bakari clings to Nia's lullaby, its melody a shield against despair. Kofi, beside him, shares a story of a scholar he once saw, his robes flowing as he read from a book under the stars. The elder Isa adds a tale of an ancestor who taught his people to read the sky, his wisdom a light in the darkness. At night, by the fire's faint glow, Bakari carves another line into his rock, its pattern a story of survival, a mark that says he exists. The gold they mined feeds Timbuktu's libraries, its shine a contrast to their sweat. But their stories are their own ink, their spirits are rebellion against their chains. The scholar's ink and the slave's sweat are intertwined, each manuscript, a product of both knowledge and labor. Picture a library in Timbuktu, its shelves heavy with books, their pages written by scholars but carried by hands like Sebos, mined by hands like Bakari's, fed by hands like Nia's. The empire's pursuit of wisdom is a marvel, but its cost is borne by the enslaved, their labor a shadow behind the light of learning. Yet, in their quiet moments they write their own story. Samba's carved camel, Amina's grassbirds, Nia's earthen spirals, Bakari's patterned rock. These are their manuscripts, their spirits a defiance that the griots rarely sing. But the night holds close as Timbuktu settles into evening. The city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft scratch of quills and the chirp of crickets. The scholar's ink flows, but the slave's sweat endures. Their story is a thread in the empire's tapestry. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of the scholar's quill lull you, the image of Timbuktu's starlit mosque fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll meet a child whose eyes see a cruel world, yet hold a spark of hope. Rest now and let the empire's heartbeat guide you to dreams. As the soft scratch of quills fades into Timbuktu's starlit night, the city's lanterns dim, their glow mingling with the gentle lap of the Niger River against its banks. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its libraries and mosques a testament to wisdom. But the sweat of the enslaved Sabas Bakori's Neos flows beneath it all, their labor the unseen ink of its grandeur. We've walked through the halls of learning, felt the weight of servitude in the forge and fields, and now we turn to a younger perspective, one that sees the empire's cruelty through innocent eyes, yet holds a spark of hope. This is a child's eyes in a cruel world where Awa, our young friend, navigates the merchant's household, her heart clinging to dreams despite the chains that bind her. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading star's light, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In Niani, the dawn breaks softly, the sun painting the merchant's courtyard in hues of rose and gold, the air fresh with dew and the faint scent of spices. Awa, barely 14, rises with Amina, her small hands gripping a broom as she sweeps the dust from the stones. The courtyard is her world, its walls closing her in, the tasks endless: sweeping, hauling water, scrubbing pots until her fingers ache. The merchant's household hums with activity, its tables laden with food, its air thick with the laughter of the family. But Awa's meals are scraps, her bed a mat in a crowded corner. Her eyes, wide and bright, see the empire's wealth, the gold necklaces worn by the merchant's wife, the salt piled high in the kitchen, but they also see its cruelty, the chains that bind her, the overseer's sharp voice that cuts through the morning. Yet Awa's heart holds tight to memories of her brother, his carved wooden birds, a symbol of flight, a dream she refuses to let die. Amina, her companion, moves beside her, her hands raw but steady, guiding Awa through the day's tasks. The air is warm now, the scent of roasted yams drifting from the kitchen as they prepare the merchant's meal. Amina sees the world through wearier eyes, but Awa's youth sparks something in her, a reminder of her own village, where children laughed under baobab trees. She teaches baobab trees. She teaches Soft about a bird that soars over rivers, and they sing in whispers, their voices hidden in the clatter of pots. Awa's eyes light up, her fingers weaving a grassbird in the dim servants' quarters, its wings a silent vow to dream beyond the courtyard. The merchant passes, his robe shimmering with gold from Wangara, but Awa's gaze lingers on the horizon where the Niger flows, a promise of something more. Across the city, Nia kneels in the noble's garden, her hands deep in the earth, planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat. The Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her rose. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, laboring in the mines of Wangara, his face a memory she holds close. Her eyes, like a war's, see the empire's cruel teeth and noble's gold ornaments. The feasts that leave her hungry, but they also see hope in the seeds she plants, each one a prayer for Bakari's safety. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a defiance against her chains. The noble's household buzzes with talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, its gold now legendary in Mecca. But Naya's world is the garden, her spirit, a spark that refuses to fade. In the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking stone, the dust coating his throat. The air is heavy, the overseer's whip's a constant threat, but his heart clings to Nia's lullaby, its melody a shield against despair. Kofi, beside him, shares a story of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while the elder Issa speaks of a child in his village, whose eyes saw hope in the stars. Bakari thinks of Awa, whom he met briefly on the march to Niani, her young eyes bright despite the ropes. At night, by the fire's faint glow, he carves another line into his rock. Its pattern a story of survival, a mark that says he exists. The gold they mine feeds the empire's wealth, its shine adorning nobles in the honey. But Bakari's spirit, like a woe's, holds a spark of hope, a dream of a world beyond the tunnels. In Timbuktu, Samba sweeps the courtyard of the scholar's household, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. His young eyes, like a wasp's, see the empire's contrasts, the manuscripts piled high, the scholar's robes flowing, but also the chains that bind him, the hunger that gnaws at him. He overhears their debates, words like astronomy and law sparking a curiosity he can't pursue. At night, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a secret rebellion, a dream of flight like a war's grassbirds. The scholars write of Mali's glory, their ink flowing for Mansa Musa's legacy. But Samba's eyes see the cost is sweat, his labor, his stolen childhood. The empire's cruelty is stark through a child's eyes, but so is its hope. Picture AWA pausing in the courtyard, her broom still, her gaze on a bird circling above, its wings a mirror of her dreams. She shares a moment with Amina, their laughter soft as they weave another grass figure, its shape a vow to endure. In the garden, Nia traces a spiral in the earth, her eyes seeing Bakari in every seed. In the mines, Bakari holds his carved rock, its lines a testament to his spirit. In Timbuktu, Samba clutches his wooden camel, its shape a spark of hope. These small acts, seen through their eyes, are a rebellion against a cruel world, a refusal to let their dreams be crushed. As Niani settles into evening, the city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft lap of the river and the chirp of crickets. The empire's wealth shines, but its children, while Samba and countless others carry its cost, their eyes holding both cruelty and hope. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of a war's grassbird fade, the rhythm of her song softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll join a festival of masks, where joy and pain dance together. Rest now, and let the empire's heartbeat guide you to dreams. As the gentle lap of the Niger River fades into Niani's starlit night, the city's lanterns cast a soft glow, their light mingling with the quiet hum of crickets. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its scholars and feasts a testament to wealth, but through a war's young eyes. We've seen the cruelty of servitude and the spark of hope that endures. We've walked with her and Amina in the merchant's courtyard, felt Nia's love in the garden, and heard Bakari's defiance in the mines. Now, the city stirs with a different rhythm, as drums echo through the streets, signaling a festival that brings color and life to Niani. This is the festival of masks and hidden pain, where joy dances alongside the silent struggles of the enslaved, their resilience a quiet melody beneath the empire's celebration. But my voice wrap you gently, like a fading drumbeat, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. Niani, the sun rises over a city alive with anticipation, the air thick with the scent of dust and roasted peanuts as preparations begin for a grand festival. The streets are a riot of color, with banners of indigo and saffron fluttering above the market, their hues catching the morning light. Drums pulse, their rhythm calling the people to gather, while dancers practice their steps, their wooden masks carved with spiraling patterns, their anklets jingling like distant bells. The festival honors the harvest, a celebration of the empire's bounty. Mansa Musa's return from his pilgrimage adds a layer of grandeur, his gold now legendary across the Sahara. Picture the royal compound, its courtyard swept clean, its tables laden with millet porridge, roasted goat, and honeyed yams, the air filled with laughter and the strum of chorus strings. Nobles and traders gather, their robes shimmering with gold, their voices loud with pride in Mali's glory. But beneath this joy lies a hidden pain. Amina and Awa in the merchant's household are drawn into the festival's preparations, their hands raw from extra tasks. Amina carries trays of food to the market, her steps careful through the crowded streets, the air thick with spices and smoke. Awa trailing behind, holds a basket of grain, her small frame straining under its weight. Their eyes catch the dancers' masks, their carved faces a blend of joy and mystery. But for Amina and Awa, the festival is no celebration. They work in the shadows, their labor ensuring the feast's splendor. Their hunger a constant companion as they serve food they'll never taste. Amina pauses, her gaze lingering on a mask shaped like a bird, its wings a mirror of the grass figures she weaves with Awa. She whispers to Awa, her voice low, of a festival in her village, where all dance together, and Awa's eyes brighten, her heart clinging to her brother's carved birds. In the noble's garden, Nia labors under the sun, her hands harvesting millet for the festival's tables. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her roes. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, toiling in the mines of Wangara, his hands breaking the earth for gold that adorns the festival's nobles. She overhears the drums, their rhythm stirring memories of her village's harvest celebrations, where she danced with Bakari under the stars. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the festival's beat, a prayer for his safety. The noble's household buzzes with excitement, its members preparing for the festival, their gold ornaments gleaming, but Nia's world is the garden, her labor a silent cost of the celebration. She traces a spiral in the earth, a secret mark of resilience, her hope a defiance against her chains. In the gold mines of Wangara, Bakari toils in the stifling tunnels, his pick striking stone, the dust coating his throat. The air is heavy, the overseer's whips a constant threat. But the distant echo of festival drums reaches even here, carried by traders' tales. Bakari's heart stirs, his thoughts on Nia, her lullaby a melody that anchors him. Kofi, beside him, speaks of a festival in his village, where masks danced under the moonlight, and the elder Isa adds a tale of an ancestor who carved a mask to honor the spirits. At night, by the fire's faint glow, Bakari carves another line into his rocket's pattern, a story of survival, a mark that echoes the festival's masks. The gold they mine feeds the empire's wealth, its shine adorning the dancers in Niani. But Bakari's spirit holds fast, his dreams a quiet rebellion in Timbuktu. Samba sweeps the courtyard of the scholar's household, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The festival's preparations reach even here, with scholars discussing the harvest's blessings, their manuscripts noting the empire's prosperity. Samba's young eyes see the masks, their carved faces a mystery, but his hands are busy, his labor ensuring the household's comfort. He overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, its gold now a legend. But Samba's world is the courtyard's dust, his hunger a shadow behind the scholar's wealth. At night, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a silent vow to dream, a mask of his own making. The festival is a paradox, its joy a veneer over the pain of those who make it possible. Picture Niani at dusk, the drums reaching a crescendo, the masks swirling in a dance of color and light. The air is filled with laughter, the scent of roasted meat. But Amina, Awa, Nia, and countless others work in the shadows, their labor the foundation of the celebration. Their hands prepare the food, their sweat feeds the fields, their toil mines the gold. Yet their pain is hidden behind the masks. In their quiet moments, they carve their own stories, Amina and Awa's grassbirds, Nia's earthen spirals, patterned rock, Samba's wooden camelage, a mask of resilience, a defiance against a cruel world. As Niani settles into night, the festival's drums soften, the city's lanterns flickering like stars on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the scent of smoke and spices fading, replaced by the gentle lap of the river. The empire's joy shines, but its pain endures, carried in the hearts of the enslaved. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe. If you like the video, it's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of the festival's drums lull you, the image of its swirling masks fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll follow the camels across the Sahara, where burdens and dreams travel together. Rest now, and let the festival's echo guide you to dreams. As the festival's drums fade into Niani's starlit night, their rhythm softens, blending with the gentle lap of the Niger River against its banks. The city's lanterns dim, their glow a faint echo of the Mali Empire's golden age, where Mansa Musa's reign shines with feasts and masks. But the pain of Amina, Awa, Nia, and countless others lingers in the shadows. We've danced through the festival's joy, felt the hidden cost of its splendor, and seen the resilience of those whose hands fuel its glory. Now we leave Niani's walls and follow the empire's lifeblood across the vast Sahara, where caravans carry not just gold and salt, but the weight of lives bound to their loads. This is the camel's burden across the Sahara, where Bakari and others like him traverse the desert, their dreams a quiet defiance against the chains that bind them. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a cool desert breeze, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. The Sahara stretches endlessly before the caravan, its dunes glowing under a midday sun, their curves sharp against a sky so blue it sears the eyes. The air is dry, scented with dust and the faint musk of camels, their hooves sinking into the sand with each swaying step. Picture the caravan, a long line of beasts laden with sacks of salt, baskets of gold, and bolts of cloth, their drivers shouting commands over the creak of saddles. Among them is Bakari, our friend from the gold mines of Wangara, now bound for a market in Walata. His wrists chafed from ropes, his body weary from labor. He walks beside the camels, their burdens heavy with the empire's wealth, his own burden heavier still, the weight of servitude, the loss of his mother Nia, the fading memory of his village. The sand burns through his worn sandals, but his heart clings to Nia's lullaby, its melody a spark of hope in the desert's vastness. Beside Bakari walks Zainab, her strength unyielding despite the march, her hands calloused from years of toil. The caravan is a world of contrasts. Merchants at the front, their robes dusted with sand, their eyes sharp with dreams of profit. the enslaved at the rear, their backs bent under loads, their steps a rhythm of survival. Zainab hums a song from her village, its notes faint but steady, a defiance against the ropes that bind her. She shares a glance with Bakari, their eyes speaking of shared loss, and they whisper stories of home, a river that ran clear, a festival where drums echoed under the stars. The air is thick with heat, the camels' groans a constant drone, but their words are a lifeline, a rebellion carried across the dunes. The Sahara is unforgiving, its winds stealing breath, but Bakari and Zainab's spirits endure. Their dreams are weight the camels cannot carry. Back in Niani, Amina and Awa continue their work in the merchant's household, the festival's echo lingering in the courtyard's dust. The air is warm, scented with spices and the faint temps of the Niger. As they sweep and haul, their hands raw from endless tasks. Amina, her eyes weary, guides a war, teaching her to balance water jars with less strain. They hear of caravans crossing the Sahara, carrying gold like that mined by Bakori, and Amina's thoughts turn to the desert, to lives like theirs bound to its trails. In the dim servants' quarters, they weave grassbirds, their wings a symbol of flight, and Amina shares a story of a caravan her father once saw, its camels swaying under the stars. Awa listens, her heart lifting, and she adds a memory of her brother's carved birds, their shapes a dream of freedom. The merchant's gold necklace gleams, a product of the mines, but their songs are their own, a defiance against their chains. In the noble's garden, Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her rows. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, somewhere in the Sahara's vastness, his hands perhaps tied to a caravan's load. She overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage. Its gold now a legend in distant markets, but her heart carries the weight of her son's absence. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a hope that Bakari's spirit holds fast. The noble's household is filled with gold and salt from the caravans, but Nia's world is the garden, her resilience a quiet rebellion against her chains. The caravan's journey is perilous, the desert a crucible of heat and hardship. Picture the scene at dusk, the camels kneeling as fires are lit, their flames casting shadows on the dunes. The air cools, scented with smoke and the faint tang of salt. As the enslaved gather in small groups, their bodies aching but their spirits tethered by stories, Bakari and Zainab sit by a fire, their voices low as they speak of villages left behind, of rivers and festivals that live in their hearts. Zainab tells of her daughter, her laughter a distant echo, and Bakari shares Nia's lullaby, its melody, a spark of hope. The stars above are a map, guiding the caravan but also reminding them of home. The merchants sleep, their dreams of profit secure, but the enslaved carry a different burden, their dreams of freedom, their unbroken spirits. The Sahara is the empire's lifeline, its caravans carrying the gold and salt that fuel Mansa Musa's legacy, but each load bears the weight of lives like Bakari's and Zainab's, their labor a silent cost of the empire's wealth. Picture Walota's market, where the caravan will arrive, its stalls alive with the clink of gold and the shouts of traders. The enslaved will be sorted, their lives traded like goods, but their stories endure, whispered in the night, carried by the desert's winds. The griots sing of the empire's glory, but the camel's burden tells another tale, one of resilience and defiance. As the Sahara settles into night, the fires burn low, their embers glowing like the hopes of those who share them. The air is cold, the dunes silent, save for the soft voices of the enslaved, their stories a rebellion against their chains. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the starlit dunes fade, the rhythm of Zainab's song softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow we'll dream under a starlit sky, where hopes rise above the empire's weight. Rest now, and let the desert's whispers guide you to dreams. As the Sahara's starlit dunes fade into the quiet of night, the caravan's fires dim, their embers glowing faintly against the vast darkness. The soft whispers of Bakari and Zainab linger, their stories of home a defiance against the heavy burdens they carry across the desert. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its caravans weaving a web of wealth that binds Niani to distant markets. But the dreams of the enslaved, dreams of freedom, of villages left behind, burn brighter still. We've followed the camels' heavy loads, felt the weight of servitude in mines and households, and now we pause in the stillness of the night, where the stars above the Sahara become a canvas for hope. This is Dreams Under a Starlit Sky, where Bakari, Amina, Awa and Nia hold fast to their visions of a life beyond their chains, their spirits a quiet rebellion in the empire's shadows. Let my voice wrap you gently, like the cool desert air, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. The caravan rests under a sky ablaze with stars, their light casting a silver glow over the dunes, the air cold and sharp with the scent of sand and smoke. Bakari sits by a dying fire, his body weary from the march, his wrists still chafed from ropes. The camels are quiet now, their burdens set aside. But Bakari's burden, his servitude, his separation from Nia remains heavy. He traces a finger in the sand, drawing a spiral that echoes the patterns of his village, and his thoughts drift to his mother, her lullaby a melody that anchors him. Zainab beside him hums softly, her voice a thread of resilience, telling of a daughter she hopes still lives, her laughter a memory under the same stars. Their words are soft, a secret shared in the night, a rebellion against the chains that bind them to the caravan's path toward Walata. In Niani, the night wraps the merchant's household in silence, the courtyard still save for the faint chirp of crickets and the distant lap of the Niger River. Amina and Ajo were sit in the dim servants' quarters, their grassbirds clutched in tired hands, their whispers a defiance against the day's toil. The air is cool, scented with dust and the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers, a fleeting respite from their tasks. Amina, her eyes heavy, tells Awa of a night in her village, where stars lit a festival of dance, their light a promise of joy. Awa listens, her young heart lifting, and she shares a memory of her brother, carving birds under a starlit sky, their wings a dream of flight. They weave another grass figure, its shape a star, a silent vow to hold fast to their dreams, even as the merchant's gold mined by hands like Bakari's gleams in the household's wealth. In the noble's garden, Nia rests under the same starlit sky, her hands still stained with earth from planting millet. The air is thick with the scent of soil and dew, the Niger's flow a soft murmur nearby. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari somewhere in the Sahara's vastness, his face a memory she holds close. She traces a spiral in the earth, its shape a mirror of her lullaby's rhythm, a prayer for her son's safety. The noble's household sleeps, its rooms filled with gold and salt from caravans like the one Bakari walks. But Nia's world is the garden, her dreams a rebellion against her chains. She hums softly, her voice blending with the night's quiet, a vow to endure, a hope that Bakari sees the same stars, their light a bridge between them. In the gold mines of Wangara, far from the caravan's path, Bakari's companions, Kofi and the elder Isa, share their own dreams under the stars. The air is cold, the scent of dust and sweat lingering as they sit by a fire's faint glow. Kofi speaks of his sister, her laughter a star in his memory, while Isa tells of an ancestor who read the sky, his wisdom a guide through hardship. Bakari, though far away, is with them in spirit, his carved rock a testament to his existence, its lines a story of survival. The mines are harsh, the overseer's whips a constant threat, but the stars offer solace, their patterns a map of hope. The gold they mine fuels the empire's wealth, its shine adorning nobles in Niani, but their dreams are their own, a rebellion against the tunnel's darkness. The stars above the Sahara are a shared witness, their light touching Niani and the caravan's path. Picture Timbuktu, where Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. His young eyes trace the stars, their glow a reminder of the wooden camel he carves, its shape a dream of flight. The scholars sleep, their manuscripts filled with the empire's glory, but Samba's dreams are his own, a spark of hope in a cruel world. The stars see Amina and Awa's grass stars, Nia's earthen spirals, Bakari's carved rock, each a mark of resilience, a vow to dream beyond servitude. The empire's wealth, carried by Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, now echoes in distant lands, its gold a legend that reshapes markets. But the dreams of the enslaved are a different kind of wealth, carried in their hearts, whispered under the stars. Picture the caravan moving again at dawn, its camels swaying under their loads, Bakari and Zainab walking with weary steps but unbroken spirits. In Niani, Amina and Awa sweep the courtyard, their grass stars hidden in their mats. In the garden, Nia plants a seed, her lullaby a prayer under the sky. In the mines, Kofi and Isa carve their own marks, their stories a defiance against their chains. The stars hold these dreams, their light a silent promise that the enslaved will not be forgotten. As the Sahara settles into a deeper night, the air grows colder, the dunes silent save for the soft crackle of fires and the whispers of hope. The empire's heartbeat slows, its wealth a distant hum, while the dreams of Amina, Nia and Bakari shine bright. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the starlit sky fade, the rhythm of Zainab's hum softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll weigh the price of a single gold coin, where the empire's wealth meets its human cost. Rest now, and let the stars' gentle light guide you to dreams. As the starlit sky over the Sahara fades into the quiet of dawn, the caravan's embers cool, their faint glow swallowed by the first light creeping across the dunes. The whispers of Bakari and Zainab linger, their dreams of home a defiance against the heavy loads they carry, while in Niani, Amina, Awa and Nia hold fast to their own hopes under the same stars. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign. its caravans and feasts a testament to wealth. But the dreams of the enslaved burn brighter, their resilience a silent rebellion against their chains. We've walked the desert trails, felt the spark of hope in the night, and now we pause in the bustling market of Walata, where a single gold coin changes hands, its shimmer hiding a deeper cost. This is the price of a single gold coin, where the empire's wealth is weighed against the lives of those who forge it, like Bakari, Amina, and Nia. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a morning breeze, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. The sun rises over Walata, a northern outpost of the Mali Empire, its mud brick walls glowing in the dawn's light, the air thick with the scent of dust and roasted peanuts. The market is alive, its stalls piled high with salt, cloth, and gold, the clink of cowrie shells mingling with the shouts of traders. Picture a merchant, his robe dusted with sand, weighing a single gold coin on a delicate scale, its surface gleaming like a captured sun. The coin, mined in Wangara, carries the empire's pride, a symbol of Mansa Musa's wealth, now legendary after his pilgrimage to Mecca. Traders from across the Sahara Arab Berber Songhai haggle fiercely, their voices a chorus of ambition, while the air hums with the rhythm of commerce. The coin changes hands, its value measured in salt or cloth, but its true price is written in the sweat and blood of those like Bakari, whose labor brought it from the earth. Bakari, now in Walata after the caravan's long march, stands in a holding area, his wrists chafed from ropes, his body weary from the desert's trials. The market's noise surrounds him, the bellow of camels, the laughter of vendors, but his eyes are fixed on the ground, his thoughts on Naya, his mother. Somewhere in Niani, the gold coin, mined by his hands in Wangara, is a distant echo of his toil, its shine a cruel contrast to his chains. Zainab beside him shares a glance, her strength unyielding despite their shared fate. They whisper of home, of rivers and festivals, their voices low to avoid the overseer's ears. Zainab speaks of her daughter, her laughter a memory that anchors her, while Bakari hums Nia's lullaby, its melody a spark of hope. The coin's journey through the market is their journey, its price their lives, traded as easily as salt. In Niani, Amina and Awa continue their work in the merchants' household, their days a rhythm of sweeping, cooking, and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and spices. Amina, her hands raw, guides a war, teaching her to balance water jars with less strain. They hear of Walata's market, of gold coins like those mined by Bakari, and Amina's heart aches for the hands that shaped them. In the dim servants' quarters, they weave grassbirds, their wings a symbol of flight, and Amina shares a story of a market in her village, where coins were rare but laughter was free. Awa listens, her eyes bright, and adds a memory of her brother's carved birds, their shapes a dream of freedom. The merchant's wife passes, her gold coin necklace gleaming, a product of Bakori's labor, but Amina and Awa's songs are their own, a defiance against their chains. In the noble's garden, Naya kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat. The Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her roes. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, now in Walata, his hands perhaps tied to the market's trade. She overhears talk of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage, its gold coins shaking distant markets, but her heart carries the weight of her son's absence. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a hope that Bakr's spirit holds fast. The noble's household is filled with gold from markets like Walata, but Nia's world is the garden, her resilience a quiet rebellion against her chains. In Timbuktu, Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. His young eyes see the market's echoes, the gold coins that fuel the empire's libraries, but his hands are busy, his labor ensuring the scholar's comfort. He overhears talk of Walata, of coins traded for manuscripts, and his heart stirs, dreaming of a world where knowledge is his. At night, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a silent vow to endure, a rebellion against his chains. The gold coins, mined by hands like Bakari's, written about by scholars, are a distant shimmer. Their price, a life like Samba's, bound to servitude. The price of a single gold coin is more than its weight in salt or cloth. Picture the market. In Walata, its stalls, alive with trade, the coin passing from hand to hand, each transaction a thread in the empire's wealth. But its true cost is in the lives it binds. Bakari's sweat in the mines, Nia's toil in the fields, Amina and Awa's labor in the household, Samba's work in the courtyard. The griots sing of Mansa Musa's glory, but the coin story is theirs, written in their resilience, their defiance, a quiet vow under the stars. The market's hum is the empire's heartbeat, but the enslaved are its pulse, their lives the true price of its shine. As Walata settles into evening, the market's noise fades, the air cooling with the scent of dust and distant rain. The city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the dunes, a reminder of the empire's wealth and its cost. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the gold coins gleam fade, the rhythm of Zainab's hum softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll stand in the mosque's shadow, where faith and pain intertwine. Rest now, and let the market's whispers guide you to dreams. As the market's hum fades into Walata's starlit night, the lantern's glow softens, casting flickering shadows across the dunes, their light mingling with the cool breath of the desert air. The Mali Empire's golden age shines, its gold, coins forged by hands like Bakari's carrying Mansa Musa's legacy across the Sahara. But the true price of that wealth lingers in the lives of the enslaved, their resilience a quiet defiance against their chains. We've weighed the cost of a single coin, felt the dreams of Amina Awania and Bakari under the stars, and now we return to Timbuktu, where the empire's faith casts a towering shadow over those who toil beneath it. This is the mosque's shadow on broken lives, where the grandeur of Mansa Musa's mosques meets the silent struggles of Samba, Amina, and others, their spirits enduring in the face of servitude. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading prayer's echo, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In Timbuktu, the dawn breaks over the Sanka Mosque, its minaret piercing a sky streaked with rose and gold, its mud brick walls glowing in the morning light. The air is fresh, scented with dust and the faint tint of parchment. As the call to prayer rises, its melody weaving through the city's streets. Picture the courtyard, alive with scholars and students, their robes flowing as they gather under shaded awnings, their voices low with debates on faith and law. The mosque is a beacon of Mansa Musa's devotion, its walls a testament to the empire's wealth, funded by gold mined in Wangara and labor drawn from countless lives. The air hums with the scratch of quills and the scent of wax, but beneath this grandeur, the enslaved move silently, their work the foundation of the mosque's splendor. Samba, our young friend, sweeps the courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, his hands scarred from the forge and now raw from endless tasks. Samba's world is the mosque's shadow, his labor ensuring its cleanliness, his presence unnoticed by the scholars who pass. The air is warm, the sun climbing high, and Samba's small frame strains under the weight of water jars he carries to the ablution fountains. His eyes, bright but weary, catch glimpses of manuscripts, their pages filled with verses he'll never read, but his heart holds a spark of curiosity, kindled by overheard words like surah and hadith. At night, in the dim servants' quarters, he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a silent rebellion, a dream of a world beyond the courtyard. The mosque's shadow is long, its faith a light for the free, but for Samba it's a reminder of his chains, his labor a hidden cost of the empire's devotion. Iniani, Amina and Owa continue their work in the merchant's household, their days a rhythm of sweeping, cooking and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and spices. Amina, her hands raw, guides Owa, teaching her to balance water jars with less strain. They hear of Timbuktu's mosques, of Mansa Musa's faith shaping the empire, and Amina thinks of the hands that built them, hands like Samba's in the dim servants' quarters. They weave grass birds, their wings a symbol of flight, and Amina shares a story of a mosque in her village where all prayed together, free under the stars. Awa listens, her heart lifting, and adds a memory of her brother's carved birds, their shapes a dream of freedom. The merchant's gold necklace gleams, a product of the mines, but their songs are their own, a defiance against their chains. In the noble's garden, Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under the sun's relentless gaze. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her rose. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, laboring in Walata or beyond, his hands tied to the empire's wealth. She overhears talk of Timbuktu's mosques, their minarets rising thanks to Mansa Musa's gold, but her heart carries the weight of her son's absence. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a hope that Bakari's spirit holds fast. The noble's household is filled with gold and salt, but Naya's world is the garden, her resilience a quiet rebellion against her chains. In Walata, Bakari stands in the market's holding area, his body weary from the caravan's march, his wrists chafed from ropes. The air is thick with the clink of gold coins and the shouts of traders, but his thoughts are with Naya, her lullaby, a melody that anchors him. Zainab beside him hums softly, her strength unyielding, her stories of her daughter a spark of hope. The mosque's shadow doesn't reach Walata, but its influence does, its gold built on their labor. Bakari's hands, once breaking earth in Wangara, now face an uncertain fate, traded like the coins that fuel the empire. At night, by a fire's faint glow, he carves a line into a rock, its pattern a story of survival, a mark that echoes Naya's spirals, a defiance against the chains that bind him. The mosque's shadow is a paradox, its faith a light for some, a weight for others. Picture Timbuktu at dusk, the call to prayer rising, its melody a bomb for the free but a reminder of servitude for Samba, the scholar's rite of Mansa Musa's devotion, their ink flowing for his legacy. But the enslaved Samba, Amina, Nia Bakari, carry its cost. Their labor builds the mosques, mines the gold, feeds the empire, yet their spirits endure. Their small axe-carved camels, grassbirds, earthen spirals a rebellion against their broken lives. The griots sing of faith and glory, but the mosque's shadow holds the stories of those who toil beneath it. Their resilience, a quiet prayer. As Timbuktu settles into night, the city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market fading, replaced by the soft call of the muezzin and the chirp of crickets. The empire's faith shines, but its shadow falls heavy, carried in the lives of the enslaved. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of the prayer's call lull you, the image of the mosque's shadow fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow we'll hear a slave's song in the moonlight, where defiance finds its voice. Rest now, and let the mosque's echo guide you to dreams. As the muezzin's call fades into Timbuktu's starlit night, the city's lanterns dim, their glow softening against the gentle lap of the Niger River. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign. Its mosques and markets, a testament to faith and wealth. But the shadow of servitude cast over Samba, Amina, Nia, and Bakari holds stories of quiet resilience. We've stood in the mosque's shadow, felt the weight of labor beneath its grandeur, and now we linger in the moonlight, where the enslaved find a moment to claim their voices. This is a slave's song in the moonlight, where Amina and Bakari weave their defiance into melodies that rise above their chains. Their spirits alight in the empire's darkness. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading moon's glow, carrying you toward sleep as we continue this tale. In the Ani. The night is deep, the air cool with the scent of the Niger and the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers. Amina and Awa sit in the merchant's courtyard, the silence broken only by the chirp of crickets and the rustle of their grassbirds, clutched in tired hands. The household sleeps, its table still laden with gold and salt, but for Amina and Awa the moonlight, that offers a rare moment of freedom. Amina hums a song from her village, its melody soft, about a river that carries dreams to the stars. Her voice, low to avoid the overseer's ears, is a rebellion, a claim to her spirit. Awa joins in, her young voice trembling but clear, singing of her brother's carved birds, their wings a dream of flight. Their song weaves through the courtyard, its notes a defiance against the walls that confine them, a vow to hold fast to hope. Across the city, in the noble's garden, Nia rests, under the moonlight, her hands stained with earth from planting millet. The air is thick with the scent of soil and dew. The Niger's flow a soft murmur nearby. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, somewhere in Walata or beyond, his hands tied to the empire's wealth. She sings his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's rhythm, a prayer for his safety. The noble's household sleeps, its rooms filled with gold ornaments. But Nia's world is the garden, her song a rebellion against her chains. She traces a spiral in the earth, its shape a mirror of her melody, a mark that says she endures. The moonlight catches her face, her eyes bright with love, her voice a defiance that the stars carry across the Sahara. In Walata, Bakari sits by a dying fire, the market's noise faded, the air cold with the scent of dust and smoke. The caravan's journey has left him weary, his wrists chafed from ropes, but the moonlight offers solace. Zainab, beside him, hums a song from her village, its melody a memory of her daughter's laughter. Bakari joins her, his voice hoarse but steady, singing Nia's lullaby, its notes a bridge to his mother. The market's holding area is silent, the traders asleep, but their song is a rebellion, a claim to their spirits. Bakari carves a line into a rock, its pattern a story of survival, a mark that echoes Nia's spirals. The gold coins traded in Walata mined by his hands shine in distant markets, but his song, shared with Zainab, is a treasure the empire cannot claim. In the gold mines of Wangara, Kofi and the elder Isa share a similar moment under the moonlight. Their fires glow, faint against the night's darkness. The air is cold, the scent of dust and sweat lingering, as they sing of their homes. Kofi of his sister's laughter, Isa of ancestors who walked free. Their voices, low to avoid the overseers, are a defiance, a vow to endure. The gold they mine fuels the empire's wealth, its shine adorning nobles in Niani and Timbuktu. But their songs are their own, a rebellion against the tunnel's darkness. Bakari's spirit is with them, his lullaby a thread in their melody, a hope that carries across the empire. In Timbuktu, Samba rests in the scholar's courtyard, his broom still, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The moonlight bathes the Sanka Mosque, its minaret a silhouette against the stars. But Samba's world is the courtyard's dust, his labor a shadow behind the scholar's ink. He hums a tune, learned from a servant's whisper, about a camel that roams free across the dunes. His voice is soft, a rebellion against his chains. and he carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a dream of flight. The scholars sleep, their manuscripts filled with Mansa Musa's legacy. But Samba's song is his own, a spark of hope in a cruel world. The moonlight holds these songs, their melodies a defiance against the empire's weight. Picture the courtyard, where Amina and Awa's voices weave a fragile thread of hope, their grassbirds glowing under the stars. In the garden Nia's lullaby rises, her spirals a testament to her love. In Walata, Bakari and Zainab's song carries across the dunes, their carved rocks a mark of endurance. In Wangara, Kofi and Isa's voices echo, their melodies a rebellion against the mines. The empire's wealth, its gold, its mosques, its market shines under Mansa Musa's reign. But these songs, sung in the moonlight, are the true treasure. Their notes avowed that the enslaved will not be forgotten. As the night deepens over Timbuktu, the city's lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market long gone, replaced by the soft lap of the river and the faint echo of songs. The empire's glory shines, but its shadows hold the voices of Amina, Iwa, Nia, Bakari and Samba. Their melodies are defiance that endures. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the rhythm of Nia's lullaby lull you, the image of her spiral fading as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll witness the fall of empires, where hope rises from the dust. Rest now, and let the moonlight's song guide you to dreams. As the moonlight's gentle song fades over Timbuktu, the Niger River's ripples catch the last glimmers of starlight, their soft lapping blending with the quiet hum of a city at rest. The Mali Empire's golden age shines under Mansa Musa's reign, its mosques and markets a testament to wealth and faith. But the songs of Amina, Awa, Nia and Bakari rise above their chains, their voices a defiant melody in the empire's shadows. We've heard their moonlight songs, felt the weight of their labor in mines and households, and now we turn to a moment of change, where the empire's glory begins to wane and the seeds of hope take root in the dust. This is the fall of empires, the rise of hope, where the Mali Empire faces its twilight, and the resilience of the enslaved like Bakari, Amina and Nia lights a path forward. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading star's glow, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. The years have passed, and the Mali Empire, now in the mid-14th century, feels the first cracks of decline. The sun rises over Nia, its light softer, the air heavy with the scent of dust and dew. Mansa Musa's reign has ended, his pilgrimage a legend that still echoes in distant markets, but his successors struggle to hold the empire's vastness. Trade routes falter, raids from neighboring kingdoms grow bolder, and the gold that once flowed like water begins to slow. Picture Niani's market, its stalls still piled with salt and cloth, but the traders' voices are quieter, their haggling tinged with worry. The royal compound, once alive with feasts, feels emptier, its gold ornaments fewer, its courtyard swept by hands like Amina's and Awa's, whose labor remains the empire's heartbeat. In the merchant's household, Amina and Awa continue their work, their days a rhythm of sweeping, cooking and hauling. The courtyard is their world, its walls closing them in, the air thick with dust and spices. Amina, now older, her hands worn but steady, guides Awa, whose youth has hardened into resilience. They hear whispers of the empire's troubles, caravans delayed, gold mines yielding less sand. Amina feels a stir of hope, a sense that change might loosen their chains. In the dim servants' quarters, they weave grassbirds, their wings a symbol of flight, and Amina shares a story of a time when empires fell and new lives rose from their ashes. Awa listens, her eyes bright, and adds a memory of her brothers, carved birds, their shapes a dream of freedom. The merchant's gold necklace, once gleaming, is sold to cover debts, but Amina and Awa's songs are their own, a defiance that grows stronger as the empire weakens. In the noble's garden, Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under a sun that feels less harsh, as if mirroring the empire's fading strength. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her roes. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, her son, somewhere in Walata or beyond, his hands still tied to the empire's needs. She overhears talk of rival kingdoms, of trade routes disrupted, and her heart stirs with hope that the empire's cracks might free her son. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a hope that Bakari's spirit holds fast. The noble's household feels the empire's decline, its feasts smaller, but Nia's resilience is a light. Her spirals in the earth a testament to hope rising from the dust. And Walata Bakari stands in the market's holding area, his body weary from years of labor, his wrists scarred from ropes. The market is quieter now, its stalls less crowded, the clink of gold coins softer as the empire falters. Zainab beside him hums softly, her strength unyielding, her stories of her daughter, a spark of hope. They hear of Niani's struggles, of Mansa Musa's successors failing to hold the empire together. And Bakari feels a flicker of possibility, a chance to slip free, to find Naya at night. By a fire's faint glow, he carves a line into his rock, its pattern, a story of survival, a mark that echoes near spirals. The gold coins, once plentiful, are fewer, but Bakari's spirit is unbroken, his lullaby a rebellion against his chains. In the gold mines of Wangara, Kofi and the elder Issa toil in the tunnels, their picks striking stone, the dust coating their throats. The air is heavy, the overseer's whips less frequent as the empire's demand for gold wanes. Kofi speaks of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while Issa tells of a time when empires fell and new stories rose. Their voices, shared by the fire's glow, are a defiance, a hope that the empire's decline might bring change. The gold they mine is scarcer, its shine fading, but their spirits burn bright. Their stories a rebellion against the tunnel's darkness. Bakari's absence is felt, but his lullaby lingers in their songs, a thread of hope that carries across the empire and Timbuktu. Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The Sanka Mosque stands tall, but its scholars speak of troubled times, their manuscripts noting the empire's struggles. Samba's young eyes see the change, his hands roar but his heart holding fast to dreams of freedom. He carves another line into his wooden camel, its shape a silent vow to endure, a rebellion against his chains. The empire's decline is a whisper of hope, a chance that the mosque's shadow might lift, that his labor might one day be his own. The fall of empires is a slow unraveling, but in its dust, hope rises. Picture Niani at dusk, its lanterns flickering, the air cool with the scent of the Niger and fading fires. Amina Awa, Nia, Bakari, and Samba carry their resilience, their songs, spirals, and carvings a vow that their spirits will endure. Empire's wealth fades, but their hope burns bright, a light in the twilight of Mansa Musa's legacy. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of Niani's fading lanterns lull you, the rhythm of Nia's lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. Tomorrow, we'll hear echoes of freedom in the dust where new paths emerge. Rest now, and let the empire's twilight guide you to dreams. As the twilight deepens over Niani, the fading lanterns cast a soft glow, their light mingling with the gentle lap of the Niger River against its banks. The Mali Empire's golden age, once blazing under Mansa Musa's reign, now wanes, its markets quieter, its wealth stretched thin by time and turmoil. We felt the cracks of decline, heard the resilient songs of Amina, Awa, Naya and Bakari, their spirits a defiant light in the empire's shadows. Now, as the empire falters, whispers of change stir in the dust, carrying the promise of new paths for those bound by chains. This is echoes of freedom in the dust, where the enslaved, like Bakari, Amina, and Nia, glimpse the possibility of a life beyond servitude, their hopes rising like a breeze across the Sahara. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading star's glow, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. In Walata, the dawn breaks over a quieter market, the sun painting the mud brick walls in hues of rose and gold, the air thick with the scent of dust and distant rain. The stalls are sparser now, the clink of gold coins softer as the empire's trade routes falter. Bakari stands in the holding area, his wrists scarred from ropes, his body weary from years of labor in the mines and caravans. The overseers are distracted, their attention turned to rumors of rival kingdoms encroaching on Mali's borders. Bakari feels a stir of hope, a whisper of freedom in the air, as he shares a glance with Zainab, her strength unyielding despite their shared fate. They speak in low voices, their words a rebellion against their chains, of a plan to slip away in the chaos of the market's decline. Bakari hums Nia's lullaby, its melody a spark of defiance, and carves a final line into his rock, its pattern. A vow to seize this moment, a mark that echoes his mother's spirals. In Niani, Amina and Awa work in the merchant's courtyard, their hands roar from sweeping and hauling, the air warm with the scent of spices and dust. The household feels the empire's decline, the merchant's wealth dwindling as trade slows, his gold necklaces sold to cover debts. Amina, her eyes weary but sharp, senses a shift. The overseers are fewer, their grip looser, as whispers of rebellion spread through the city. She shares a story with Awa, her voice low, of a woman in her village who fled under the cover of night, her footsteps lost in the savannah. Awa listens, her young heart racing, and weaves a grassbird, its wings, a symbol of flight, a dream of freedom now closer than ever. Their songs, sung in the dim servants' quarters, are a defiance. Their grassbirds a vow to grasp the echoes of freedom rising in the dust. In the noble's garden, Naya kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under a sun that feels softer, as if mirroring the empire's fading strength. The air smells of soil and sweat, the Niger's waters a faint comfort as they feed her rose. Nia's thoughts are with Bakari, somewhere in Walata, his hands perhaps tied to a fading market. She overhears talk of the empire's troubles, kingdoms' weakened trade, a throne contested by lesser rulers, and her heart stirs with hope, a sense that the chains might loosen. She hums Bakari's lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a hope that freedom's echo might reach her son. The noble's household is quieter, its feasts smaller, but Nia's resilience is a light. Her spirals in the earth, a testament to hope rising from the dust. In the gold mines of Wang are Kofi and the elder Issa toil in the tunnels, their picks striking stone, the dust coating their throats. The air is heavy, but the overseers are fewer, their whips less frequent as the empire's demand for gold wanes. Kofi speaks of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while Issa tells of a time when freedom followed an empire's fall, his words a spark of hope. Their voices, shared by the fire's faint glow, are a rebellion, a dream that the empire's decline might open a path to freedom. The gold they mine is scarcer, its shine fading, but their spirits burn bright, their stories, a defiance against the tunnel's darkness. Bakari's absence is felt, but his lullaby lingers in their songs, a thread of hope that carries across the empire in Timbuktu. Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The Sanka Mosque stands tall, but its scholars speak of troubled times, their manuscripts noting the empire's faltering grip. Samba's young eyes see the change, his hands raw but his heart holding fast to dreams of freedom. He overhears whispers of rebellion, of captives slipping away in the chaos, and his spirit stirs, his wooden camel a symbol of flight. He carves another line into its shape, a silent vow to seize the moment, a rebellion against its chains. The empire's decline is a whisper of hope, a chance that the mosque's shadow might lift, that his labor might one day be his own. The echoes of freedom are faint but growing, carried in the dust of a faltering empire. Picture Niani at dusk, its lanterns flickering, the air cool with the scent of the Niger and fading fires. Amina and Awa weave their grassbirds, Naya traces her spirals, Bakari and Zainab carve their rocks. Samba shapes his camelich, a mark of resilience, a vow to grasp the freedom now within reach. The empire's wealth fades, but their hope rises, a light in the twilight of Mansa Musa's legacy. The griots sing of past glories, but the enslaved sing of a future. Their voice is a rebellion that the dust carries forward as Wallata settles. Into night, the market's lanterns dim, their light dancing on the dunes, a reminder of the empire's fading glory and rising hope. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of the starlit dunes fade, the rhythm of Bakari's lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll reflect on the legacy of Mali's forgotten, their stories enduring beyond the empire's fall. Rest now, and let the echoes of freedom guide you to dreams. As the echoes of freedom fade into Wallata's starlit night, the market's lanterns dim, their soft glow swallowed by the vast darkness of the Sahara. The Mali Empire's golden age, once a blazing light under Mansa Musa's reign, now flickers, its trade routes faltering, its wealth stretched thin by time and turmoil. We've felt the stir of hope in the dust, heard the defiant songs of Bakari, Zainab, Amina, Awa, and Nia, their spirits rising like a breeze against their chains. Now, as the empire's twilight deepens, we pause to reflect on those whose lives shaped its glory, yet whose names were rarely sung. This is the legacy of Mali's forgotten, where the stories of the enslaved endure beyond the empire's fall, their resilience a light that shines through history's shadows. Let my voice wrap you gently, like a fading fire's warmth, carrying you towards sleep as we continue this tale. In Wallata, the dawn breaks softly, the sun painting the market's mud brick walls in hues of rose and amber, the air thick with the scent of dust and distant rain. The stalls are quieter now, the clink of gold coins a faint echo as the empire's decline tightens its grip. Bakari stands in the holding area, his wrists scarred from ropes, his body weary from years of labor in the mines and caravans. The overseers are distracted, their numbers fewer, and Bakari feels a spark of possibility, a chance to slip away, to find Naya. Zainab, beside him, shares a glance, her strength unyielding, her stories of her daughter a thread of hope. They whisper of a village beyond the dunes, a place where freedom might take root. Bakari hums Nia's lullaby, its melody a defiance, and carves a final line into his rock, its pattern a testament to his endurance, a legacy that the empire cannot erase. Inyani, Amina, and Awa work in the merchant's courtyard, their hands raw from sweeping and hauling, the air warm with the scent of spices and dust. The household feels the empire's decline, the merchant's wealth dwindling as trade slows, his gold sold to cover debts. Amina, her eyes weary but sharp, senses the loosening of chains, the whispers of rebellion now louder in the city's streets. She shares a story with Awa, her voice low, of a woman who rebuilt her life after an empire fell, her spirit alight in the dust. Awa listens, her young heart racing, and weaves a grassbird, its wings a symbol of flight, a legacy of hope. Their songs, sung in the dim servants' quarters, are their own, a defiance that carries their names beyond the courtyard's walls, a testament to their unbroken spirits. In the noble's garden, Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet, under a sun that feels gentler, as if mirroring the empire's fading strength. The air smells of soil and sweat. The Niger's ward as a faint comfort as they feed her rose. Nia's thoughts are with Bakary, somewhere in Walata, his hands perhaps freed by the empire's cracks. She overhears talk of rival kingdoms, of a throne weakened by strife, and her heart stirs with hope that freedom might find her son. She hums his lullaby, its notes blending with the river's flow, a prayer for his safety. Each seed she plants is a vow to endure, a legacy of love etched in the earth. The noble's household is quieter, its gold fewer, but Nia's spirals in the soil are her story, a mark that endures beyond the empire's fall. In the gold mines of Wankgara, Kofi and the elder Issa toil in the tunnels, their picks striking stone, the dust coating their throats. The air is heavy, but the overseers are scarce, their whips silent as the empire's demand for gold fades. Kofi speaks of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while Issa tells of a time when freedom followed collapse, his words a spark of hope. Their voices, shared by the fire's faint glow, are a rebellion, a legacy that carries their names. The gold they mine is scarcer, its shine dimming, but their spirits burn bright, their stories a defiance against the tunnel's darkness. Bakary's lullaby lingers in their songs, a thread of hope that weaves their legacy into the empire's. Twilight dot in Timbuktu. Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The Sanka Mosque stands tall, but its scholars speak of a fading empire, their manuscripts noting its struggles. Samba's young eyes see the change, his hands raw but his heart holding fast to dreams of freedom. He overhears whispers of rebellion, of captives finding new paths, and his spirit stirs, his wooden camel a symbol of flight. He carves another line into its shape, a silent vow to endure, a legacy that the mosque's shadow cannot dim. The empire's decline is a whisper of hope, a chance that his labor might one day be his own. His story a mark in history's dust. The legacy of Mali's forgotten is not in the gold or mosques, but in the resilience of those like Bakary Ami, Away, Nia and Samba. Picture Niani at dusk, its lanterns flickering, the air cool with the scent of the Niger and fading fires. Their stories carved rocks, grass, birds, earth and spirals. Wooden camels are a testament to their endurance, a defiance that outlives the empire's glory. The griots sing of Mansa Musa, but the forgotten sing their own songs. Their voice is a legacy that rises from the dust. The empire's wealth fades, but their hope endures, a light that shines through the cracks of history, carrying their names into the future. As Niani settles into night, the city's lanterns dim, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market gone, replaced by the soft lap of the river and the chirp of crickets. The empire's twilight holds the stories of the forgotten, their resilience a beacon that endures. If you're finding solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you like the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of Nia's spirals fade, the rhythm of her lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you towards sleep. Tomorrow, we'll drift to sleep with history's lessons, where the past speaks to the present. Rest now, and let the legacy of the forgotten guide you to dreams. As a soft glow of Niani's lanterns fades into the night, the Niger River's gentle ripples carry the last echoes of the forgotten. Their stories Bakary's carved rocks, Amina and Awa's grassbirds, Nia's earthen spirals, Samba's wooden camel, defiant light in the Mali Empire's twilight. The golden age, once blazing under Mansa Musa's reign, now crumbles, its markets quieter, its wealth scattered like dust in the Sahara's wind. We've walked through the empire's decline, felt the rising hope of those bound by chains, and now we pause to reflect on the lessons their lives whisper across time. This is Drifting to Sleep with History's Lessons, where the stories of the enslaved weave a bridge between past and present, their resilience a gentle call to remember. Let my voice wrap you softly, like a fading star's light, carrying you towards sleep as we conclude this tale. The dawn breaks over Niani, the sun painting the city's mud brick walls in hues of rose and amber. The air cool with the scent of dew and distant fires. The empire is a shadow of its former glory, its trade routes faltering, its palaces emptier under rulers who cannot match Mansa Musa's vision. The market hums softly, its stalls sparse, the clink of gold coins a faint memory. Yet, in this quiet decline, the stories of the enslaved endure, their resilience a legacy that outshines the empire's gold. Picture Amina and Awa in the merchant's courtyard, their hands raw from sweeping, their grassbirds hidden in their mats. The merchant's wealth has dwindled, his household quieter, and Amina senses a loosening of chains. She whispers to Awa, her voice low, of a future where they might walk free. Their songs a lesson in endurance, a defiance that carries their names beyond the courtyard's walls. In the noble's garden, Nia kneels in the earth, her hands planting millet under a gentler sun. The Niger's waters a soft murmur as they feed her rose. Her thoughts are with Bakari somewhere in Walata, his spirit perhaps freed by the empire's cracks. The air smells of soil and sweat, but Nia's heart burns with hope. Her lullaby, a prayer that has carried her through years of servitude. She traces a final spiral in the earth, its shape a testament to her love, a lesson that resilience can bloom even in the hardest soil. The noble's household is subdued, its gold ornaments sold, but Nia's spirit is unbroken. Her story a whisper that the Niger carries downstream, a legacy that speaks to those who listen. In Walata, Bakari stands in the market's holding area, his wrists scarred but his heart alight with possibility. The market is quiet, the trader is distracted by the empire's decline, and Bakari shares a glance with Zainab, her strength a beacon in the dust. They whisper of escape, of a village beyond the dunes where freedom might take root. Bakari hums Nia's lullaby, its melody a defiance, and holds his carved rock, its patterns a lesson in survival. The gold coins, once the empire's pride, are fewer, their shine dimmed, but Bakari's hope is a light that endures, a legacy that the griots may never sing but history holds close. Zainab's stories of her daughter weave with his voice as a testament to lives that refuse to be forgotten. In the gold mines of Wangara Kofi and the elder Isa toil in the tunnels, their picks striking stone, the dust coating their throats. The air is heavy, but the overseers are scarce, the empire's demand for gold fading. Kofi speaks of his sister, her laughter a distant echo, while Isa tells of ancestors who found freedom in chaos. His words a lesson in hope, their voices, shared by the fire's faint glow, are a rebellion, a legacy that carries their names. The gold they mine is scarcer, its shine a fading memory, but their spirits burn bright, their stories a defiance that echoes Bakari's lullaby, a lesson that resilience outlives empires. In Timbuktu, Samba sweeps the scholar's courtyard, his broom whispering against the stones, the air thick with the scent of parchment and wax. The Sanka Mosque stands tall, but its scholars note the empire's decline, their manuscripts a record of fading glory. Samba's young eyes see the change, his hands raw but his heart holding fast to dreams of freedom. He carves a final line into his wooden camel, its shape a lesson in endurance, a rebellion against his chains. The empire's decline is a whisper of hope, a chance that his labor might one day be his own. His story a legacy that shines beyond the mosque's shadow. The lessons of Mali's forgotten are a bridge to the present, their resilience a call to remember the cost of glory. Picture Niani at dusk, its lanterns flickering, the air cool with the scent of the Niger and fading fires. Amina and Awar's grassbirds, Nia's earthen spirals, Bakari's carved rocks, Samba's wooden camel, these are their legacies. Their stories a lesson that hope endures beyond empires. The griots sing of Mansa Musa, but the forgotten teach us to listen for the voices in the dust, to honor the lives that shaped history's course. Their resilience is a light that shines through time, a whisper that carries their names to us. Here now. As Niani settles into night, the city's lanterns dim, their light dancing on the Niger's surface. The air is cool, the hum of the market gone, replaced by the soft lap of the river and the chirp of crickets. The empire's twilight holds the stories of the forgotten, their lessons a gentle call to reflect. If you've found solace in this tale, my friend, subscribe if you liked the video. It's a small way to keep these stories alive. Let the image of Nia's spirals fade, the rhythm of her lullaby softening as your breath slows. Feel your body relax, your eyelids heavy, as the story carries you toward sleep. The Mali Empire's lessons linger, its forgotten voices a bridge to your dreams. Rest now, and let their resilience guide you to sleep.